6 o'clock. Good morning from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Down Studios. I am Robert Walsh. We got some Titans hiring news. Hiring Wayne State linebackers and special teams coordinator Mike Saleh, who is the cousin of new Titans head coach Robert Saleh. He coached all conference performers at both linebackers and on special teams last season at Wayne State. And in former Titans coaching news, the Giants interviewing former Titans head coach Brian Callahan for their quarterback coaching job. Callahan served in the same role with the Lions and the Raiders from 2016 to 2018 before heading to the Bengals as their offensive coordinator. He also previously interviewed with the Giants for their open offensive coordinator position. In college hoops, number 19 Vanderbilt takes down Auburn 84-76. The Commodores were excellent from the free throw line, knocking down 26 of 30, and then 21 Arkansas took down LSU, who was putrid in SEC play, 91-62. Darius Acuff Jr. dominating, going 13 of 22 to finish with 28 points. For all your foundation repair and your waterproofing needs, you gotta go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Out of the blocks and off and running on a brand new edition of Ramon and Will. Good morning and welcome in on this Wednesday of the football offseason. I feel like it kind of sets in like 48 hours after football ends. You know, you dive into some free agency, you get to know some of the draft prospects, you tell yourself, you know what, life is still going to go on. And then you're like, crap, there's no football to even talk about today to get ready for this weekend. I'm having withdrawals this morning. I'm going to need your help. Ramon Foster, Robert Walsh in the control room this morning, waking up with us. I'm Will Bowling, 615-737-1045. Bert, welcome back for a little bit. Good morning.
Morning. What's going on, fellas?
How we doing?
Man.
You can help us with our football withdrawals this morning.
Lord, I'm going through them too, man. I don't know. If you got a remedy, you let me know.
Okay.
I could tell you over air, but that probably won't work either.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We're going to be in Ramon going to be running some damn pass rush drills in the hallway just to feel something.
That could get you going right there. Is one kick step, man. Dude, I'm in the middle of training some young offensive linemen of mine I'll be working with.
They need my help.
Listen.
I feel like Bert would probably, like, you would, I'm guessing, have fun just like joining in for a day.
He would be the perfect
like, you know what?
assistant.
Learn me a little bit.
Yes, he'd be the perfect assistant offensive lineman because I'm gonna have him demonstrate what we're doing, and like I know your passion to do it would be through the roof. You like that? That's why he would be an amazing assistant offensive lineman right there.
Yeah, I don't need to know how to teach them how to do nothing. I just need to teach effort. I'm the dude holding the pad. It's like if you don't get off of your knees, kid, you're going to run me a lap. We're going to do it again. But if you don't get off of them knees, you get no power off of that.
Why your hands on your hips, huh? Why you bent over right now? All of this, like
you sound like Denzel from Remember the Titans.
Yes.
You having fun? You think it's fun anymore? No, we're not having fun anymore.
Ask my boys what I've been telling my own son. You gonna hate me. And I'm okay with that. Like, I welcome that because that means you're learning what I'm asking you to do, and eventually it'll be fun. I'm telling every single one of y'all not going to like me, and I'm just prefacing that because I told them at the high school level that I'm trying to get you to, like, I feel like it's my responsibility if you do or don't go to college. And especially if my name's attached to teaching y'all, like, if I'm coaching you and they see me associated on the sideline with you and y'all look trash, I got to fight you if you don't do the technique that I do. Like, it's at that point.
Got to fight you. Okay.
Listen, kids deserve to get body slammed from time to time. Okay.
I saw a Jimmy Johnson quote the other day that got me going, man. He was like, you know what's fun about football? He's like, when the other team has got their hands on their hips sucking wind, he's like, and you know that's when you get to dominate. That's when all your preparation, and you know you outworked that guy. He's like, oh, I'm so tired, and you get to take him for a ride. I was like, Jimmy Johnson, talk to me, man. Talk to me.
That's my MO, okay? I ain't ever been the fastest. I was pretty strong. Athleticism, I'm way above average.
You've been in 11 years in the NFL. You're more than pretty strong.
But
you give yourself a little bit of credit.
I'm playing it down a little bit.
5'2" slow, I'll give you, but you are pretty strong.
But my point is,
pretty strong.
I'm the tortoise the entire time. I'm walking you down. When I see you huffing, I'm like, oh, All right, that's the first sign of it. Then I see you looking across the way and not looking at me. I got him. From that moment on, you belong to me. It's the way I treat these situations.
What it was the John Gruden quote in Hard Knocks? Of like, we're in the business of dreams in the NFL. I'm in the business of crushing dreams.
Basically.
I'm in the business of taking somebody else's dream, man. So you don't come here with a dream because we're going to crush it.
That's so real.
But just don't look at my emails, then you'll crush my dreams. Being an NFL head coach.
For whatever it's worth, Gruden wasn't wrong in that, man. Man, I got a heartbreaking story for y'all, too, man.
Okay.
Y'all ever just been let down by something, dog? And yes, you have. It's the answer.
Every day when I look in the mirror.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Peyton's not going to like that joke. Sorry.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. But yesterday, man, Keisha and I, so I'm strong into this intermittent fasting right now. I'm not sure if you know, I'm not trying to eat till after 10. I stopped eating at like 7:38. I'm not picking up eating till after 10, close to 11. That's my mindset moving forward. So yesterday I get home, I had a couple cases I have to work on my other job, and then I get done. I'm like, Keisha, you hungry? We need to go eat something real quick because I'm starving. Big boy, gotta eat, okay? We go into an establishment we always go into around Hendersonville, not in it per se. I won't name them because I like the people. I love the place.
Okay.
Love the place. We usually sit in our regular spot up front, but this time we end up going towards the back end. We sit down, man, and Keisha says she felt like she notices something. Pass it off. Nothing happens. Okay. Then our food comes.
Okay.
We're sitting down. I'm like 2 toes deep into like starting my entree for lunch, okay? Keisha jumps. I'm like, what the hell are you jumping for? Be cool. Like, there's nothing around you. A roach crawls directly on the table.
No.
Oh.
So it's called Ramon's now, right? Where can where can we go to get our food at Ramon's?
I like the place so much, I didn't even like mention it to him. I paid my tab.
You didn't mention it to him?
You didn't say nothing?
I feel like you have.
I know I'm too
I feel like
nice.
for the betterment of their own place, you have to mention it to
I know I'm too nice.
Oh, man.
I didn't mention to him I paid my tab. I got a fake to-go box I threw right outside in the trash can. Keisha got outside, and I had to shake her down, check her hair, check her bag, and everything. I hadn't seen, y'all, legitimately.
Yeah, because you don't want a scavenger with you, because those things, when there's one, there's 20.
I hadn't seen a roach since maybe I visited New York, or since like Knoxville in like 2005.
Uh-huh.
I hadn't seen a roach, y'all, in forever.
How big was it? Like, what kind of roach
It was one of those, like, worker roaches.
Yeah,
like,
little ones, yeah.
Like a quarter of an inch. And I was just like, you know what? We gonna roll. When was the last time? Well,
I hate that.
When was the last time y'all seen a roach?
Well, my old apartment was infested with them, which is why I had to move 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
That?
2 years ago.
Yeah. A year and a half ago this
I
morning.
probably got a couple in an ashtray. If I need.
I didn't think you was that broke.
That is truly, there are few worse feelings than being in your home and seeing that. Because again, you know that when there are one, there are like 20 behind the wall somewhere.
Yeah.
Which is an awful feeling. What I think happened with me was like when I got my TV mounted on the wall.
Yeah.
And it like opened up a hole in the wall for them to crawl out of the walls of the old place I was living in.
Man,
At least that's my theory.
That's the issue. Like, I remember when we were younger, like, this is at my grandmama's house in a project, like, the project, I guess, the management company used to, like, have the people come by and spray or whatever, and the pest control come by and spray, and, like, they used to just drop off the damn wall. You see them in the corner but they never fully left. You know what I'm saying? And that was the one thing I always vowed was, look, we will not have to deal with that. And when Keisha saw it, it was just like, one of those. No, I lied. Last time I saw it was at a baseball tournament about 5 years ago, and one of those like Marriott's or Hilton's that was over close to by like the woodsy area or something. And that was like a big old water cockroach or whatever.
Yeah, those are Those got to pay rent.
Yeah, they do got to pay rent. I'm 100% with you.
I also don't like that as we're talking about cockroaches, this Brett Kern bobblehead just moved a little bit over here.
Oh,
like, hold on a minute. Somebody hear their name called and run to the front of the classroom.
I see you over there scratching.
Hold on a minute.
Will's over there scratching his skin and stuff, though. Like, you getting freaked out right now?
I did not enjoy that. I did not enjoy that at all.
I know. I should have mentioned it, but the people that own an establishment are super, super nice, and we enjoy going there. I told Keisha, so it's time to find a new, I won't mention the type of food it was, but it's time to find a new one, huh?
Wow.
Yeah, that happened yesterday, dog. I went from hungry, like I only had like a little bit anyway. I wasn't even hungry no more. I had actually a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I'll definitely do it.
Oh, I told y'all Keisha's making preserves at home. She's making strawberry and grape jelly. I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich yesterday from her own jelly. She was like, don't make me start making peanut butter. I said, you won't.
No peanut butter and cockroach sandwiches, that's for sure.
You know the difference in preserves and jelly, right?
I don't.
A little bit fruit versus no fruit.
You got it. Preserves have actual fruit pieces, and jelly is just a congealed sugar from the fruit.
Yes,
Interesting.
It is.
I never knew that.
It is. Look at young Bert back here. I say that like I know he know that type of stuff. Boy from the country.
Well, Bert, welcome back for the time being. For how do you know how long you are here this morning? I don't even know if we can give the details of what's going on.
Yeah, I'm here. That makes it sound good or bad.
Well, that's fair. No, just car trouble.
Yeah, he just had car trouble. I'm here for it. I'm here for the whole thing, baby.
All right.
Look at all my Hendersonville people.
Welcome.
I'd like to know where the hell this is.
Yeah. You're like, hold on. Slide my DMs real quick.
Yeah, publicly I will not do that. I won't disparage him. I've been sued for less. I will not do that. Absolutely.
So you're here for the whole show with us?
Yeah, I picked a good one to come back for. You guys got Gojo today. You got Rhett, right?
Yeah, we do.
It's what's Rhett getting into? Is he breaking down some prospects? Are we into that yet?
We're going to look a little bit at Dane Brugler's top 100 list that came out yesterday, and Rhett has gone through the work of comparing 2024 Titans statistically to the 2025 Titans, where improvement was made year over year, what the changes were from year one to year two in Brian Callahan, which I think is an interesting breakdown as kind of the dust settles on the season.
That's probably the cure for my football hangover. That's exactly what I needed.
So coming up, and you picked a good day to be here for this as well. We're starting this new series, Review and Preview, grading and reviewing what worked, what didn't work for the Titans at different positions, and looking at specific players they can add to different rooms. I've got an underrated need for the Titans in 2026 because of how their system is about to change. Let's tell you why defensive line is a bigger need for the Titans than you think it is. Coming up next. Ramon's getting PTSD hearing this morning. I also am learning today from Robert Walsh, filling in for Justin Hawkins, Ramon Foster, Will Bolick. I learned that La Cucaracha means cockroach in Spanish. I had no idea.
Yeah, I was like, give me a song. I asked Google. I was like, give me a song with cockroach in it. And it was like, well, you could go with the famous La Cucaracha.
That's good use of AI right there. Or good use of just a search engine in general.
See, y'all are the worst. Y'all just pour into stuff around here like this, okay? Look, he's got a little salsa going right now. Hey, this ain't the halftime show.
Okay. Sorry. Sorry I annoyed you with my friendship.
I love your friendship.
This ain't the halftime show.
Hey, I love your. It was beautiful. I fully enjoyed every minute of it. I'm trying to keep the energy the same, okay? That's all it was, man. Next thing you know, TN gonna be running with a side segment here.
Anyway, so let's talk about the Titans defensive line. Goodness sakes. How would you grade, Ramon, the work of the Titans defensive line in 2025? Obviously headlined by Jeffrey Simmons, but the entire group as a whole. I know Buck and Bert and Lucas have a segment right now that I love of going through the different priorities and least important and most important. What's got to be addressed? Where does defensive line fall for you on how they performed this past season?
How they performed, I'd give them because they gave up the run more than they ever have in years past. Production wasn't as high as you needed it to until later in the season. I'd probably give that group minus Jeff.
Oh, minus Jeff. It's a totally different grade. We're taking out the smart kid that ruined the grading.
Okay, all right, let's go. As far as they have to go to what I think they want that defensive line to look like and how it performed last year, that group as a whole was probably a C minus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. C minus is probably where I'm putting them. Like, Jeff's bringing that average up even big time in himself. Like, we're talking about Pro Bowl, all pro first team on both of those as starters. Like, if you had one more of him, you get bumped up to a B. Like, to get an A, like to be superlative, like, we are legitimately looking at what Houston's D-line, like, I don't think they're close to that. I don't think they're close to the Seahawks D-line. I'm getting through this cold here.
Choked up talking about it.
I am. They're a ways away, Will, as far as being that effective, that known as well, because that's the thing about those other D-line. Like, that's why stars matter, like superstars on the team, because you can associate, that's Will Anderson Jr. over there. That's Daniil Hunter. Like, I don't know if anybody's going to respectfully name 4 of the 5 defensive linemen on the Titans.
So if I were to ask you, how many sacks do you think the Titans defensive line had, not from Jeffrey Simmons? And in this, I'm not counting Jihad Ward as a defensive lineman. I'm counting him as an edge rusher. I'm counting Draymond Jones as an edge rusher, Jalen Harrell, Arden Key. Just looking at the Titans defensive line, how many sacks do you think they had minus Jeffrey Simmons last season?
Minus Jeff, so take the double digit away. I would say 7.
4.5.
What
is the number? The Titans defensive line had 4.5 sacks last season beyond Jeffrey Simmons. Now, you obviously don't get to just take away Jeffrey Simmons' sack production when you talk about the Titans defensive line, because he had 11. So at the end of the day, the defensive line had 15.5 sacks of just defensive linemen. But Jeffrey Simmons accounted for 11 of those. So on roster for the upcoming offseason, you have currently under contract Jeffrey Simmons, T'Vondre Sweat, and then a who's who of just young guys that might stick on the roster but are very largely unproven. Timmy Horn, Cam Horsley, David Abuka-Agoha, Nate Lynn, and Isaiah Rakes. Yeah. So here's the thing about defensive line. I think this is a sneaky, underrated need for the Titans, and here's why. The system is about to change significantly.
Very much.
Robert Saleh's defensive lines for the New York Jets rotated bodies in and out a lot, and that was a criticism of how much they even used Quentin Williams at the time, was because they would take him off the field to keep him as fresh as possible. And I think it was like 29th most snaps for defensive linemen in the NFL is what he had on his own. Ramon, last time that Robert Saleh had a full season with the New York Jets defense, 2023, 8 different defensive linemen recorded at least half a sack. The Titans had 4 different defensive linemen record half a sack this past season. I feel like you could look at this roster and see more defensive line acquisitions and additions made this offseason than what people are, in my opinion, generally expecting.
It's going to be some real funny feeling dudes inside of that room. Tavondre included if he doesn't get on board with what Jeff's doing this offseason, which I think he is. Jeff said he sounds excited about joining him.
Which is a great sign.
It is. That he's badgering him about when are we starting, what do I need to do. I heard that on 3HL last week while they were at the Super Bowl, and Jeffrey Simmons speaking about Tavondre Sweat. But here's the thing. Like, at this point, Robert Saleh and his defense has the ability to go shopping. Like, there's going to be a lot of uneasy guys inside of that room when it comes down to the new amount of the new bodies that are marching in. Because, again, what happens what NFL allows you to do is to go find your guys. Those guys will be available either through their contracts or free agency. And I doubt they're trading for anybody, but he has to get his types in. Like, more than anything, he can't say, which is why we've had this conversation, hey, we just got to pour all the way into the offense. Like, I think it's most important for a defensive head coach, specifically Robert Saleh, who's going to be calling plays, to have the most amount of guys that he possibly can at that position or on his side of the ball to show that they can be successful. Because the other part of that conversation is this, Will, like, if you got a defense that can go get you the ball back to put it back into your offense's hand, that's an advantage.
Right.
If you got a defense that can go, strip or create so much negativity that you're winning the field positioning game, that's why, to your point, I think the defensive line is important to get. The other part for me is this. I don't know whether it was the offensive line from New England was just bad this past Sunday or what. But watching that Seattle defensive line stop them on 2nd and 2, 3rd and 1, or create negativity when they had to a rush for 4, that's such a gold standard.
Mm-hmm.
And you want that. It gives your offense so much confidence that, look, we can mess up or have a 3 and out and know that we will get the ball back. Like, selfishly, that's kind of how it goes when you got a team that's balancing each other out.
Well, and that's the thing, too, that I think gets underrated in this whole process is the idea that you have to get someone who directly helps Cam Ward. Having an edge rusher or having a defensive line and having a better defense that can get Cam the ball back in better field position also helps Cam Ward. Like, having a better football team helps Cam Ward. Mm-hmm. It's not just, if you don't draft a wide receiver, you're not helping Cam enough. Well, no, make the defense better to the point where they can hold up longer while the offense sputters a little bit at the beginning of a game. And we're having very different conversations. And again, we talked all season about how this team was not good when the score got separated and defenses were able to just pin their ears back and tee off. And the best example of that, of where things kind of flipped a little bit, was the Chiefs game. The offense did not start the Chiefs game very well.
Right.
And it took the defense kind of holding their own, albeit against Chris Oladokun and a couple drives of an injured Gardner Minshew, to give them time to make a play and hit some big runs. And Cam hits a couple big throws, and all of a sudden, hey, now we've got the lead. Now we're teeing off.
Putting pressure on.
Because the defense held their own for the first half of that game while the offense was still a little slow out of the gate. The difference between, some of these losses and that win was the fact that you didn't give up any huge explosives early in the game. And on script, the Chiefs on offense weren't as good against you. So, yeah, you're right. Like, having a better defense and bolstering that side of the ball, just doubling down on your defense and injecting a lot of youth into that this offseason still helps Cam Ward.
I know we're lightly, moving past it, and not to disparage this guy at all or bring him up as, again, because he's the DC with the New York Giants now, but I think that's why a good bit of credit needs to be given to a guy like Denard Wilson, and glad that he got a job.
No question.
Because when we're talking about getting this talent into that building and being ready on the field to be competitive, like, I don't think there was much of a threat on a day-to-day basis when you got past the first line, or a week-to-week basis when you got past the first line of Jeff or Tavondre wasn't, up to par, Sebastian Joseph Day up the middle. Like, you knew this. Like, going on that defensive line, like, boy, it's going to be hell going against Jeff. But we can handle everybody else, and that's the issue. That's where, you remember this last offseason, that's what Jeff was speaking about as well. He's like, he doesn't just want to be an every down guy. He want to be able to strategically go into the games, and this 3rd and 8, and you got to have a sack. Like, that's where he's more beneficial to this team than being out there 85, 95, 97% of the defensive snaps, is having a supporting cast that allows your stars to do the things that they're good at. Chris Jones does it beautifully. He picks when and where he wants to rush, and that's when you know you got a very special team.
So I've got a couple of names I want to look at in free agency and kind of the expensive free agent contracts and maybe the bargain buys as well. But I want to talk more about T'Vondre Sweat and his fit within this defense, Ramon, because on one hand, being in kind of what is this essentially called? One gap defense?
Yeah.
Describing that right instead of a two gap defense?
Penetrating 4-3.
How does that fit T'Vondre Sweat's skill set? Because on paper, people are going to see his height and weight and see his size and think, oh, well, there's no need for a nose tackle now in this defense. So it's going to be a tough adjustment for him. But on the flip side, to me, the way he moves and his feet and his overall quickness might actually fit this defense pretty well.
That's where I'm at with him. Like, we've yet to see, I think, the best version of T'Vondre Sweat. And that's his conundrum he's got to answer or get fixed this offseason, is the idea that he came in here, and I'll never forget his pre-draft conversations. We met him at the Senior Bowl. He was here talking in his intro presser and stuff like that, and he spoke about how much he was a big athlete. I think the story of him going to Texas way below the weight that he is right now, and he just kind of ballooned up a little bit, but he's always thought of himself of being a big dancing bear. Here's what I see from a guy like T'Vondre. Not one-to-one comparison, but a guy that's not supposed to fit the mold of playing defensive line or D-end or D-tackle is Calais Campbell, right? Like, he's a unicorn. Calais is 6'8". He could be a D-tackle, but he plays defensive end as well. T'Vondre's, 6'4", 300-plus pounds as well, but he's a super athlete. I would probably say off top, I think T'Vondre probably has more quick twitch than what Calais possess, meaning if you want fast, explosive, you get upfield. Going against Calais Campbell type was hey, it's going to be a problem, and he's more like a bulldozer. I can see T'Vondre being like a cat truck. Like, he really is getting upfield, albeit he's 300-plus pounds.
Well,
my point of it is this. There's some quick twitch and fire in him. He's just got to get past that threshold of, one, unhitching a couple of wagons with the weight, and I say that with all due respect. But the lighter he is, the better of a player he's going to be. And then the next one comes down to his will on each play. When he's tired, what effort are you getting?
Yeah, the motor's got to be there more consistently.
The motor, because we've seen him run down running backs out the backfield,
sure.
or quarterbacks. That's the part to where you could look at him and say, well, he's just a nose. But then you watch the athleticism and you say, no, this dude may have something there. I probably should have gave a better comparison like a Javon Hargraves, even though he's bigger and taller than Javon Hargraves.
Yeah, so Calais Campbell's listed at 6'8", 315 pounds at this point of his career. T'Vondre Sweat was listed by the Titans this season at 6'4", 366 pounds. Is there a number you have in mind for him?
I think under 30, you're going to see a demon.
330?
Yep.
Okay.
Under 330, you're going to see a demon. I think he's probably always going to be a big dude. I don't think you're going to see him ever come in looking like Jeff. What he's going to have to do this offseason is probably lose, stop going into the weight room and work on your agility and running. Like, the better his conditioning is, the better version of T'Vondre Sweat that you're going to see. If his stamina is high, the strength, he understands how to play in this league. He understands leverage. He knows his size. If he can shed to get to 330, 325, I think that version of what he was talking about in his pre-draft is what we'll see here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So there is one name that I've already seen in the F&M Bank chat this morning who is a slam dunk free agent option for the Titans. I've got a couple of these here. The name that I see consistently and that our ball-knowing commenters have already brought up is John Franklin Myers in Denver. 30 years old this upcoming season, just finished a 2-year, $15 million contract with the Denver Broncos. Considering he has posted back-to-back seasons of career-high sacks, you may see the rare example, Ramon, of where someone goes into their 30s and then gets a raise based off of what they've been, right?
No doubt.
2 years, $15 million. Spot Track estimates he may be able to get $8 million a year at this point. Spent 2020 to 23 with the Jets after starting his career with the Rams. 3 full seasons with Robert Saleh and Aaron Whitecotton, the new defensive line coach. 7.5 sacks this season, 14.5 sacks the last 2 seasons. And someone that I think on paper is a perfect fit. And also, we know what he looks like in a Robert Saleh defense and can already tell you that he's a pretty good fit. You interested?
Yeah, I'm most definitely interested in him, man. Of course, he's been more available. That's also another important part of free agency, too. When you're looking at guys like this that are a little bit older, he's been more available. He fits the size. He fits the motor component of what you're going to be asking him to do, and he already understands the system that Robert Saleh is calling. That's an easy check mark for me. If you can get him at that price. Now, here's the other thing. So I heard Buck, y'all. I heard y'all talking about it yesterday, Bert, as well. I will tell anybody going into this free agency and moving forward, shift your thinking on contracts.
Oh, yeah.
That number is high. I heard y'all bring it up, Buck, Bert. You started talking about, like, I think Buck mentioned, like, the cap can get to $500 million. Back up, like, special teamers are probably going to be getting, like, $5 a year. So, like, Chig, I know the conversation was Chig. It's like Chig Okonkwo getting, like, $8 million. Like, yeah, that $8 million is probably, like, 4 or 5, like, 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, the cap is over $300 million this year. And so for a veteran, you telling me like John Franklin Myers getting $8 million, I think that fits the bill. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Those numbers are standard vet numbers, I think, moving forward.
Mm-hmm. And when you see those numbers come out, a common thing people are talking about now is Tyler Linderbaum in free agency. It's like, well, if you could get him for 18, but that's what Creed Humphrey makes. Oh, Creed Humphrey's the best center in the world. But when they signed Creed Humphrey, that was the money 2 years ago. If you can get Tyler Linderbaum for what Creed Humphrey's getting, that's not yesterday's price. That's a great price. You're in today's price.
Yes, you are.
You talked about the salary cap going up 25 to 30 million, over $300 million in money. That's a whole player. That's a whole, like, high-end player.
For sure.
So, like, when you see the money, like, don't be shocked. Oh, I can't believe that guy got that much money. That's just the financial landscape of the NFL that we're in.
It is.
Well, and two, the Titans are in a unique position to where they can front load the heck out of these contracts, and a 4-year deal can, like you talk about a lot. If you're getting a 4, then
probably a 2.
Yeah, it's
maybe
probably a 2
3 if you're good.
If you're getting a 3-year deal, then it's probably a 1 or a 2.
Yep.
Dan Moore was the best example of that last year.
Yeah.
And in a season where there were no premier can't miss tackle options that were bona fide starters on contending teams, Dan Moore got 4 years, $82 million from the Titans.
A 2.
Then you see what the breakdown of the contract is. They can get rid of Dan Moore after this season for 0 dead money on the 2027 salary cap.
Yeah.
It was a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
And so you front load a lot of that money while you are paying a rookie quarterback contract, while you aren't paying a lot of second contracts, because unfortunately the cupboard was left so bare for you. You don't have a lot of guys you want to extend. It won't always be like this, but for right now, yeah, like the sticker shock of what that number looks like the day it gets reported is not worth getting super worked up about, especially when you have so much money, because agents know how much money that the Titans have to spend.
Yes, they do.
I'm counting Jalen Phillips kind of as a 4-3 defensive end. I think Jalen Phillips is a really interesting fit for this Titans defense. He is still really young. He's 27 years old next season. 5 sacks this year between Miami and Philadelphia. Dealt with injuries in Miami, but he did post 8.5 sacks as a rookie in 2021. He is more betting on pressures ultimately resulting in more sacks if you can match him up with Jeffrey Simmons. Or you feel like you build a solid defensive line. Jalen Phillips was 9th league-wide in pressures last season. 18.8% pressure rate, but he only had 5 sacks. So in and around, the quarterback just couldn't finish as much. Spot Track estimating he will get paid something around 4 years, $78 million.
Yeah.
For Jalen Phillips.
I'm trying to find his college stats as well, just to see what his careers have looked like, or his pathway has looked like since he started playing ball. And UCLA, Miami, just looking at his overall production, it is where he gradually gets better over his career is where he's at right now. 15.5 tackles for loss at Miami in 2020. Like what I'm
8 sacks in 2020 with Miami.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. What I'm looking at is, like, I think he's growing into a pro in college. The way he's growing as a player, the way he did in college, the way he is as a pro right now. I do think there's more left as far as his career and development goes. $78 million for an edge rusher like that. The question you have to ask yourself, is this an upgrade potentially over Arden Key types? And I think most will probably say yes.
Are you guys familiar with his story in college? So he was medically retired from UCLA due to a neck injury or concussion injuries, ends up fighting back, coming back for Miami, and he was featured on Hard Knocks when it was the Miami season pretty frequently, and they covered his injury and him fighting back. Super, just invested player in this. You can hear how he talks about ball and how his coaches talk about him. He will be the belle of the ball in free agency this year. And with a story like that, you love guys who fight for their dreams, who fight to be a part of it. I just don't I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a dude who's more passionate at that position in free agency this year.
3 names a little bit more off the radar who could pop up, names to remember, who are 2 of them with ties to Robert Saleh, one of them just a name that's out there that I think could make sense. Kevin Givens had a torn pec in preseason with the San Francisco 49ers, has spent his whole 7-year career there. 8 career sacks, 3.5 tackles for loss in 8 games in 2024. 18 tackles for loss in his time. Depth option. And again, we're talking about how much they're going to rotate on the defensive line. I think you may see them dip into the $4 or $5 million a year for a couple guys.
Oh, yeah.
Just to remake the entire 2 deep on the defensive line. Old friend Sam Okawanu, who was here in preseason, I think for a couple years. 6'1", 269, chipped in 3 sacks for the 49ers this year, made 12 starts. And then one guy who, again, is going to get paid based off of his intangibles and frame and just overall athleticism. Logan Hall with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is someone who doesn't have a ton of production on paper. 9.81 relative athletic score for him. 2nd-round pick out of Houston for Tampa in 2022. He will only be 26 this year. Probably around $8 million a year. Had 5.5 sacks in 2024. Was not nearly as productive this past season. You look kind of at that interior defensive line market. He is someone at 6'6", 283 pounds. That's the kind of type we're looking for here.
It's unique looking at his snap counts. I'm trying to see how much he's played. This year is the most he's played defensively at 610 snaps. But what's crazy is he's played 138 special team snaps as well. So to tell you his athleticism is just a matter of clearly he's a role player in a rotation. What are you going to be? Well, he's got to be more, I guess, productive in those 600 reps if he's getting them as well, depending on what the premium he's going to be paid.
Yep.
The cool thing about Logan Hall, too, is that if you look at his alignment, where he lines up at, because he's so tall and long, he could be a 5-tech, which is somebody that lines up on the outside of the tackle. He gives you a little multiplicity on the defensive line, which helps you with how much Saleh's probably going to rotate defensive linemen in.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be a lot of, he's pretty much going to Sam's Club to go shopping. You're doing bulk shopping this free agency for, I think, D tackles.
I just say, as a rule this offseason, heads on a swivel on how many D linemen they could potentially add. And that's in the draft. That's in free agency. I just think, besides Jeffrey Simmons and Devondre Sweat, you will likely see a totally remade 2 deep up front on the defensive front. 615-737-1045. Something that a lot of people didn't notice happened in the Super Bowl on Sunday that made some headlines yesterday. We'll talk about a wrap-up hour 1 next.
It's Ramon Foster for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, man. Nobody likes dealing with a plumbing, HVAC, or electrical emergency at all. Most of the time, you don't know what it will cost you or if it'll get fixed right or if somebody's just trying to sell you something you do not need. We all have had this issue before. I'm here to tell you, when you call Hiller, though, the experts are going to solve your problems quickly, and the price you tell is the price that you'll actually pay. There are no hidden fees or surprises or add-ons when you get your bill. Absolutely not. They've been in business for over 35 years and are family owned and operated as well. Their techs, that's who you'll deal with if somebody's coming to your house, are very professional, experienced, and trustworthy, and are all background and drug screened as well. When they're on their way, you'll receive a photo of the tech that's coming to your home. That's great security and confidence for you. But here's something even better. They will send you a link to track them in real time so that you can see what time they're showing up to your house, so you're not late or you're not sitting around waiting for them to show up. They believe in this, man. Happy You'll Build, the service is free. If you're not satisfied with the work that they do in or around your home, they will do all they can to try to fix it or simply say, here's your money back. Nice doing business with you. That's the 100% satisfaction that you get from Hiller. To book with them or learn more about them the way I do, man, simply go to happyhiller.com.
Wrapping up hour number one of Ramon and Will. Robert Walsh in for Jayhawk this morning. Your phone calls at 615-737-1045. We got a little bit of news yesterday on something that happened in the Super Bowl that, I don't know, maybe I should have thought of. Maybe Bert, we both should have thought of this. You know the wedding during the halftime show was a real wedding on Sunday.
Absolutely.
So this is something that's, I think, always kind of happened, but it's become really trendy of like you send wedding invitations to celebrities or to big brands. And you try to like get stuff back. So Variety put this out there. The engaged couple wound up with 15 extra wedding announcements. So they sent most to local businesses with the hope of maybe getting some free wedding perks. But the last invite, they were like, why don't we send one to Bad Bunny? Lots of people send wedding invitations to him, so why not? Apparently his office reached out. They thought, amazing, maybe we'll get a signed photo. They were invited on a Zoom call, and then on the Zoom call, they learned, no, come get married at the Super Bowl. Incredible.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw it. And it's like, why are we doing a Zoom call? Like, no, you're in the Super Bowl right now. They got married. I thought that was one of the coolest things ever. I have a person in mind, and I'm inviting to mine already. Like, when Keisha and I, when we renew our vows, I got a person in mind. Y'all want to know who it is? Do you have people in mind?
Oh, yeah. I've already submitted my list to Cheyenne.
You are about to be married, Bert. Okay. Yeah. My guy, Project Pat. Gotta have him at the wedding.
that would
Project
be so
Pat,
cool, though.
Can you imagine Project coming out? Oh, my gosh. You hear, boy, chicken. That's all you need to hear right there. Chicken head. Ain't none in the wedding.
Who's on your list, Bert?
I need Project Pat to show up at mine.
Oh, Lamar. 100%. I need Lamar. I need Ray. Well, Cheyenne bought me, what was it called when you pay somebody to send you a cameo?
Yeah.
She bought me a cameo from Ray Lewis.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, what's up, King? And just him saying, what's up, King, that lifted me for like 6 months.
Your heart grew 5 sizes that day.
I was like, damn, Ray know exactly who I am. He's like, you know what it means to be a Raven. I was like, yeah, I do. Yeah, I'd have to invite one of them.
I hate that you went Baltimore Ravens centric right there. Who you got, Will, on the list?
All of Arsenal Football Club, just the whole team. Like Bukayo Saka being there would be great. I appreciate the 10 of you listening who know who that is. Peyton Manning would definitely make the list. The guy I was almost named after, which, by the way, would have been really awkward now that I am marrying a girl named Peyton.
Yeah.
If we were both Peyton Bowling.
Can you imagine if Peyton officiated your wedding? Oh. That would be the ticket, dude.
Come on now.
Be like, Peyton, bring that big old head down here.
Bring Omaha Production.
I'll let you give 2 shout-outs to Nationwide.
And just like shout-outs. Will is always going to be on your side, Nationwide.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, that's... I hadn't really thought about that, giving my list for it, honestly. I mean, I'm sure Taylor Swift will get an invitation from us.
What as well? You should be sending it right now.
100%.
What lines up with my guy, Project Pat, is Project Pat now is doing like prison ministry and like he's more biblical. Ooh. Like I heard him on a 21 Savage song recently. No cussing in his rhyme. So he could actually officiate, you know what I'm saying, my vow renewal. And Project Pat's like 6'5", 6'6". He'd be amongst family with me, Savage, Nardo. Man,
yeah, he'd make you look kind of short, though, wouldn't he?
He might.
Which, by the way, real quick, did y'all see the picture or the video of 21 Savage walking beside Kendall Jenner?
You know why?
In the box the other day at the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
He is hugging the wall. He does not want to be breathing the same oxygen as her.
Hey, his girlfriend or his fiance or wife, they're claiming it's supposed to be the rapper Lotto.
Lotto runs a tight program.
Yeah.
Hold on now. 21 Savage with Lotto?
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know if he could.
Yeah.
Lord, I don't know how he gonna handle all that.
Boy, bagged him one, didn't he? Yeah, Lotto runs a tight ship, boy.
Runs a tight program. That's what you need in the big 2026. Everybody needs a girl that runs a tight program. Apparently, Lotto runs a really tight program because 21 Savage it's like he was trying to get paint samples of the wall to see what color they used.
Is
this eggshell?
Is this what is this?
Is this
exactly?
Boston cream? Or what is this? This looks like an Irish cream color. Let's see. Oh, we're going over this way? Okay, all right. Let's
got
take
a little
left.
blue in this gray? Is that what that is? More blue than purple? Okay, I got you.
He was trying to avoid the Stephon Diggs stuff. He's like, I am not trying to deal with that.
Hey, listen, man. She locked him down. She probably the one that gave him his citizenship after the marriage. So allegedly,
I don't know if you had this experience. You wouldn't have gone to Santa Clara with Titans radio.
Oh no, I didn't. I played there. Though.
That I feel like I know very well what those walls look like too, because that is one of the places where Coach Mack talks about it on the broadcast. Like, you are in the clouds when you do a broadcast from Santa Clara, and going up and down from the field. That is one of the 6-story. Like press box situations, but they have different suites on every level. I swear I got a good look at every single floor in Levi Stadium. Like, dudes walking on with just, and it's always weird when you mix, and this, I know Miami was this way for you, because you got to walk through a club to get down to the field in Hard Rock.
Yes, you do.
It is always very weird when you are in work mode and you've got your backpack on or credential, Mike in your pocket, and then a dude just walks in with a beer, oh, what's going on, brother? You're I'm not in the mindset to interact with you right now. That's kind of what it's like there. So I feel like I've gotten a good view of those walls.
Hard Rock will humble you as far as being a worker versus a partier.
Yeah, right.
You ever been no, Bert? You never been you go through his club live. You smell all kind of skunk smells in the air. You see everybody's got all kind of drinks.
Skunk smells.
It is a full flavor. And then what's crazy about Hard Rock? You hear all the bass, boom, boom, coming out of the speakers and stuff, from the club. That's a party there, man.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, 21 Savage ain't messing around.
615-737-1045. One ESPN writer says he would be stunned if Will Levis isn't traded this offseason, and named 2 suitors for the current Titans quarterback. We'll talk about that next.
7:04. Good morning from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Down Studios. I am Robert Walsh. The Titans are hiring Wayne State linebackers and special teams coordinator Ahmad Saleh, who is the cousin of new Titans head coach Robert Saleh. He coached all conference performers at both linebacker and on special teams this past season at Wayne State. In other former Titans coaching news, the Giants are interviewing Titans head coach Brian Callahan for their quarterback coach job. Callahan served under the same role with the Lions and the Raiders from 2016 to 2018 before heading to the Bengals as their OC for 5 years. In college hoops, number 19 Vanderbilt takes down Auburn 84-76. The Commodores were excellent from the free throw line, knocking down 26 of their 30 attempts. And the number 21 Arkansas took down LSU, who has been putrid in SEC play, 91-62. Darius Acuff Jr. dominating, going 13 of 22 to finish with 28 points. For all your foundation repair and your waterproofing needs, you gotta go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into hour two on this Wednesday morning. Glad you are with us. Whether you're locked in on the FM radio signal 104.5 The Zone, the 104.5 The Zone app, or Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, you came to the right place. We'll shift gears to Vols discussion coming up in 15 minutes. Austin Price told us some interesting news on Joey Aguilar's court case Friday. What's the question mark you've got on the Tennessee offense if Joey Aguilar fills the hole at quarterback? We'll get Ramon's thoughts on that coming up here in 15 minutes, plus yours as well at 615-737-1045. So Ben Solak at ESPN.com says he'd be stunned if Will Levis isn't traded this offseason. Now, for those who are unfamiliar with Ben, he is an analyst. He is a person who intelligently speaks about quarterbacks, about football. He is not a reporter. So don't take this as an insider saying, hey, I'll be stunned if he doesn't get traded. Simply more connecting the dots, saying a disaster class artist, which is disaster class, a great word to begin with, so prolific he produced multiple screenshot-worthy reactions to his own turnovers. Will Levis is remembered worse than he actually played, he says. Yeah. He has prototypical size and good arm strength because the Titans front office and coaching staff are completely new. I'd be stunned if he isn't traded this offseason. Ramon, is Will Levis remembered worse than he actually played?
Yeah. Yes, I agree. His moments, he became a meme. He became an analogy for a lot of people to describe bad plays. He gave the Titans a little bit of a reputation as just being bad ball. But here's the thing. He was asked to do a lot. I think his drive to want to do more was cut short by the one percenters. You're not allowed to do those type of plays in the NFL. I do think Will Levis got a good arm. I do think his processing needed to catch up. I view him, to be quite honest with you, in the same boat as Malik Willis was at the time. Malik left here and got better, not because he was a bad player or that the team was bad. I think he just had more time to grow and slow down the process and figure himself out and get to a point to understanding how to play quarterback. I think Levis is at that point too. The same conversations we've had about Cam Ward and how many coordinators he changed out or how many different offenses he's been in. Well, Levis went through the same stuff, same as Malik Willis. It's just been bad that this team has longed for a guy to be the guy and the team either wasn't set up for it. And I personally think that Will Levis got way too much in that second year from Brian Callahan when he should have just been keeping them boxed in and making them make the plays that he should have. I think it's flagrant the way he was able to push the ball down the field just because he had a strong arm. We'll get to the strong arm the same way we talk about Cam, but the sidearm stuff and him off-script stuff when you get this offense down. I don't think he's had the ability to get that, and somebody will take their time with Will Levis moving forward.
It's going to be really interesting to see how they manage him in the offseason because on one hand, there probably is some kind of market for him now because he's just a quarterback that has talent. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, again, what is the timing of potentially moving him? What is that priority compared to what his value could be with a little bit of training camp reps? and a preseason quarter where he goes on 2 touchdown drives against somebody's twos or in the third quarter of a preseason game. Like, what's more important to you? Maybe a round better of draft capital, but it's for next year? Or just going ahead and moving him now? How much of a market do you think there is for Will Levis today, Ramon?
6, 7 round. I look at teams that need quarterbacks. Pittsburgh, Jets, the Rams at some point will need a quarterback. Miami? Question mark? Like, these are the places that have...
Exclamation point.
Both of them. I mean, look at what J.J. McCarthy got going on in Minnesota. Who's to say they're not trying to find Daniel Jones again, like Indianapolis?
Minnesota's the one I'm really interested in.
Like, there's a market for guys like Will Levis. Who do you love coming out of this draft anyway? It's 2 quarterbacks, basically, at this point. So to think either Will Levis is going to find himself in a backup role or contending for a starter spot is not far-fetched. Like, I see somebody say, like, Mayo Boy is trash. They said the same thing about Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, and so many other players across this league. Like, they're not trash. They're probably just not at the spot that you want them to be currently. I'll forever. This is my player side coming out. I can admit it. I'm always a firm believer of guys getting second chances because that's what the league tells us is always going to happen.
So there are 2 teams that Ben Solak links to Will Levis that he thinks could make sense. One of them is the Minnesota Vikings, who you mentioned, saying every toolsy young passer who can operate from the pocket is on my radar for a surprise Vikings trade. That's Tanner McKee, Anthony Richardson, and Will Levis that he specifically mentions
Tanner
there.
McKee?
Mm-hmm.
I got to look him up.
Tanner McKee from BYU?
I think you're right.
Stanford. Who am I thinking? I'm thinking of Jaron Hall from
Correct.
BYU. Yeah.
In spot starts for the Eagles, Tanner McKee has been exceptional.
Yeah, he has been really good.
Okay.
The other fit that I think is really interesting is the LA Rams for Will Levis. The Rams' young backup is Stetson Bennett. That is their third quarterback.
Yeah.
I think that's a really interesting fit. Obviously, you look at where Liam Cohen came from, being under the Sean McVay tree. Where did Will Levis have his most success ever as a quarterback?
That's right.
Under Liam Cohen as the offensive coordinator of the Kentucky Wildcats. And just in general, like, I don't need to introduce you, obviously, to how good Sean McVay is at developing quarterbacks. Right. But if I'm Levis, that's where I want to land. Because you get a chance to be on a winning team. It's a reclamation project. You can learn under Matthew Stafford and maybe have a chance at competing to be the starting quarterback after Matthew Stafford hangs it up, which does not appear to be now. Right. It looks like he does want to play again next season. We're going to do the same song and dance with him, maybe a little bit shorter than we did last offseason, where it was, is he staying or is he going? But I think the Rams are a really interesting team here of someone that could address that need. And honestly, just anyone who has a quarterback get hurt between now and the regular season. And what we expected Derek Carr to still be a professional quarterback this time last year, and all of a sudden he hangs it up around the NFL Combine. Like, someone is going to be surprisingly on the move and create a need and create another potential landing spot for Will Levis. But I do think Minnesota and LA are a good place to start for now.
Just looking across the league, too, I mean, there's so many other cities that have questions about the quarterback, like Michael Penix Jr. in Atlanta. What security do you give yourself in that, you know what I'm saying, in that situation?
And who does Matt Ryan believe in?
Exactly. Like Arizona. I know they got Kyler Murray legitimately, like, but what do you plan? Like, what do you know about Kyler Murray that makes you want to trust him moving forward? And they got wide receivers that can drive the ball down the field as well. So there are places that he's going to be able to be giving to or traded to. It's just a matter of what compensation are you getting back.
Right.
I'll say this too. I think with him being with CAA, that's his agency as well, they're going to have at least a strong conversation about, this isn't good. Let us go or trade us.
Right. Also in this piece from Ben Solak, the projected contract number for Malik Willis. Have you seen this number of what you think he's going to get on the open market? About
30.
Yeah. $30 million a year.
I'm just guessing. Yeah.
It's a lot of money, man.
No, it ain't. Justin Fields got 20.
I know we just talked about this, and I know Justin Fields got 20 is the perfect rebuttal because I'm looking at that too, and that's a part of this to say, like, hey, if Justin Fields can get 20 a year and Baker Mayfield gets 33, like Malik Willis is somewhere in the $30 million a year range.
Yeah.
Do y'all believe he's going to live up to that?
Malik is a product of perfect circumstance, I feel like, with what he has going on in Green Bay. Wherever he goes, whichever team chooses to pay him, they have to have an offense in mind that's going to allow him to have that same type of success. I know he's been pointed towards Pittsburgh. Like, is Mike McCarthy able to craft that style of offense? What I will say is this. I think he's an NFL quarterback right now.
No question about that.
That settles everything else. What his team does moving forward is fully upon his success. The system is going to have to matter, is what I'm saying.
I think the offensive line matters significantly for Malik because he is still getting sacked a lot. His sack rate, 9.6%, is one of the league's highest over the last 2 years. That's not an all-world offensive line in Green Bay. It's also not really a super bad offensive line.
Right.
And that was always the issue with him here. And I know he's come a long way since he was here, but it's the escaping out of the back of the pocket. I think if you gave Malik Willis a solid offensive line to work with the second he gets to his new team and puts on his new uniform, he could be serviceable. The problem is, again, you are partly handcuffing the team you're going to when they're paying $30 million a year for serviceable. That's not totally fair because, again, the cap has gone up so much, but he's got to have good protection wherever he goes, like as a requirement for wherever he ends up landing. Like, it's one thing to look the way he does under Matt LaFleur. Maybe I'm just too jaded by his time here. I'm just still skeptical that he's going to take a next step as a full-time starter.
Understood. Somebody brought Miami being a place.
Miami's a good option for him.
So here's, I guess,
the Jets.
The Jets. We need to see the trend, I guess, moving forward as well.
Yeah.
Will teams elect this route more than they ever have in years past instead of the rookie guys coming out? Because every year we've had the conversation, rookie class, and none of them have really hit the mark the way you needed them to. The patience to find a seasoned guy, I wonder what that's going to look like, especially with Sam Darnold.
Well, and to the same comparison about undervalued, like backup quarterbacks finally getting a chance to start, like Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Osweiler are cautionary tales for a reason.
That's very true.
And Malik Willis could not be more different from Jimmy Garoppolo as quarterbacks. But Jimmy Garoppolo had 5 starts for the 49ers in 2017, went 5-0, signed a 5-year deal worth $137.5 million, the largest contract in the NFL at the time ever. And we saw what happened.
Also, I'm removing blame from Justin Fields. Justin Fields didn't show enough in Pittsburgh in order for the Jets, I thought, to warrant that contract and that starter role, to be honest with you.
I think if you were going to go get Justin Fields, the reason I wanted him here last year before drafting Cam was just be a run-first offense. Like, just double and triple down on his athleticism and legs. Like, let's go run the option.
Yeah.
And that's a little too reductive because he's got an arm and he's a talented quarterback. But still, I
blame the Jets.
I was wrong on that one.
No, I blame the Jets on Justin Fields.
615-737-1045. So taking away the potential question mark at quarterback for Tennessee, with growing optimism about Joey Aguilar winning at least the preliminary injunction against the NCAA on Friday, how good could this Tennessee offense be with Joey Aguilar, and what question marks does Ramon still have about the Tennessee offense? We'll dive into that next. What's up? It's Will Bowling. Hey, the beginning of a new year is a great time to start fresh, right? You clean, you purge. Hey, let's not forget about that resolution we made in January, just the fact that it's February now. I want to tell you about Zero Res, who wants you to clean and purge around the house, the way we are talking about helping our own routines and our own lives. And Zero Res is the perfect place to go because their cleaning agents are much healthier than just using soaps and detergents to clean. Zero Res is a smarter, lasting clean. No harsh chemicals, no soap residue, faster dry times, and things are going to stay cleaner longer. Whether it's those carpets that might have that little stench that you just got to get out, or maybe you're walking to the entryways and you still got the ice, the snow, the mud that you tracked in from outside just building up there. Get Zero Res out there to take care of things for you. Book online at zeroresnashville.com, 615-535-9376. That's zeroresnashville.com. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean, and don't forget to ask about their air duct cleaning. What's up? Will Bowling here. Winter plumbing issues come in all forms. Maybe you're thinking about that one spot in the house, that one drip, the clog, the no hot water when you need it the most, especially when it's cold outside. No matter the plumbing issue in your home, Lee Company is available 24/7 to get the job done right. Lee Company's award-winning team has you covered, from the kitchen sink to the water heater and everything in between. Hey, maybe you're like me, and when you try to just fix things yourself around the house, you end up just making things worse. Things that were working the way they're supposed to now aren't. You're not getting that hot water. Lee Company is going to make things so easy for you. Contact Lee Company and schedule online at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com for professional plumbing service for the folks and the business that have been in business for over 80 years serving Middle Tennessee. Check them out online at leecompany.com. That's Lee Company, all you need. Hour number 2 on Ramon and Will, Zone TV, 104.5 The Zone app, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. So Friday is a big day for Joey Aguilar with a preliminary injunction hearing set in Knoxville. And Ramon, it feels like there is growing optimism that at least on this decision, Joey Aguilar's probably going to get good news.
It looks like it. At least initially, it should go his way. Yes.
Now, there are a lot of hoops that he's going to have to jump through and a lot of probably fights that the NCAA is going to wager to keep him from playing. So just if he wins this on Friday, obviously there's a long way to go. But let's, again, we've done one of these conversations a couple weeks ago. Let's say that, Ramon, Joey Aguilar is available. And he's the starting quarterback for the Vols in 2026. And all of a sudden, the offense that led the SEC in scoring last year looks a lot different. So on paper, your starters, tell me if you've got any issues with any of these.
I'm listening.
Left to right on the offensive line, David Sanders is your left tackle.
Yep.
Wendell Moy is your left guard. Mm-hmm. Sam Pendleton returns at center. Jesse Perry is your right guard, and Ori Williams, the LSU transfer, is your right tackle.
I see that as facts, as law. Yep.
So you return 4 of your 5 offensive linemen, and really you return 3 in the same position as last year.
Yeah.
Your wide receivers are Mike Matthews, Braylon Staley, and question mark. Maybe it's Tristan Keys, the 5-star freshman. Travis Smith or Rodarius Jackson would have something to say about that
All
as the returning guys. All 3 of them by committee.
All of them.
At running back, Deshaun Bishop is back. You signed Javen Gordon from Tulane, and DeJuan Morris from Oakland, here locally, is ready to step into a larger role. Justin Baker's still there at running back as well. All of a sudden, Ramon, things look really different, don't they?
Yes, they do. On top of having 2 stud tight ends as well.
Right. With Deshaun Brame coming back and with Ethan Davis, obviously kind of stepping up into the 1A role where he was when Miles Kitselman was hurt.
Oh.
What's your biggest question about Tennessee on offense if Joey Aguilar comes back and takes away the quarterback question?
All right. So my 1 and my 3 are tied together. I'll just give you the 1 first because you can't talk about this you can't talk about last season and the projection of it unless you talk about this part. And like, it's offensive, but not necessarily the offense. It's the kicking, special teams first.
Yeah, it's fair.
I know that's probably not the answer you're looking for, but getting an answer as far as field goals and extra points go, extra points really ain't an issue in the college level because they're only kicking from the 3-yard line or 2-yard line. But getting points when you got to have them, that to me is the most, I think is the biggest non-offensive defensive question that you have this offseason is who's going to be your kicker? How can you get you one of those Georgia types, one of those Vanderbilt kickers, one of those, I think Mississippi State had a good kicker, et cetera. That first. 1 on my list ties to 3 because here's the other part that I think was super bothersome. And as soon as it happened to him, Will, I felt blood leave from my brain, okay? Being behind the chains and having an answer. I feel like far too often last year, if it got to 2nd and 8, the Vols didn't really have a whole lot going on. If it is, and I know it's bad whenever you got a false start on 1st and 10, so it's 1st and 15. Getting out of those situations were very problematic, I felt like, for the Vols. I felt like watching that team last year from the defensive side, I saw teams be faced with 1st and 15s or 2nd and 16s, and they get chunk yards back, and now it's 3rd and manageable. I don't think the offense last year did a really good job of overcoming adversity. That, to me, is where I think I saw Joey Aguilar have issues. The offensive play calling just looked a little iffy in itself, and there was no real answer when it came down to, like, yes, this is adversity. So what? That, to me, I will say, I think comes down to the mental toughness, the physical toughness side of this team, to where mentally and just, I would even go top down, just cowered on those, like, in those moments, Will. I absolutely hated it because I'm like, it's just a first down to get more yards. Like, 1st and 15 means the running back is going to get 10 yards. And it never happened consistently. That's where I think the strength and conditioning coach comes into play. Mentally knowing, so what? Screw those extra 5 yards. We got to go get them anyway.
I think it's interesting, Ramon, the way that offense achieved scoring a lot of points and being as productive as it was, despite the defense not really holding up its end of the bargain all season and forcing them to have to match a lot of scores and play catch up sometimes, but B, with how bad the run game was.
That's my second point.
By Tennessee's standards, the run game was not good in 2025. How big of a concern is that for you, Ramon, with a lot of the same guys coming back? Because, yes, it's good to have returning production, but I think Clemson was the best example last season. I'm not saying Tennessee is Clemson in this way, but Clemson was a good example last year that sometimes the same guys come back and are mostly just kind of the same guys and do a lot of the same things, and you're kind of the same team and don't make major improvements year over year. How big of a question mark is the run game for you entering this season?
This is a big question. I thought they were better pass protectors and they weren't run blockers last year. Now, there was some physicality that was added to it, and you saw that as well, like Jesse Perry pulling the way he did. You had, of course, Lance Hurd was a guy that I thought was physical enough, but like the consistency of watching them run the ball and just like maul guys, that missed out last year. And I think the other part of it is they became better pass protectors as well. Like, to watch them take over a game or to close out a game I didn't think their strong suit consistently in the game. Like I told you a second ago, the run game consistency to me in the Illinois Bowl game, I thought when they had to have it in moments against Georgia, it wasn't fully there. I thought when you needed them more throughout the duration of the game against Mississippi State, it wasn't consistent as well. I had a problem with it throughout the duration of the season.
It's going to be interesting. I do think that those two running backs stepping into the rotation, Javen Gordon from Tulane and Dwan Morris, I actually don't know. Did he play enough to burn his red shirt? Is he a red shirt freshman?
Absolutely he did.
So he'll be a sophomore.
Yeah, he'll be a sophomore.
This next season. Two very, very interesting parts of this offense. Yeah. They've got to get back to running the football the way they are used to. I also think, too, Ramon, that when you are protecting more leads versus matching scores or trying to come back on teams, they may have the luxury to run more because their defense might help them out a little bit more as well.
That's true, too. It's just that you want that offense for what it's worth, not to just be scheming you up because of the hashes, but just beating you down. I thought the Arkansas game was a game in which they struggled to consistently run the football, so much so that the pressure that Arkansas was applying to them was solely because they couldn't move the line of scrimmage the way you needed them to. That if the passing game is having an umbrella put on the back of it, or teams are playing deep thirds and the linebackers dropping back in coverage and you keeping all deep passes in front of you, then there needs to be pressure applied on the ground in which you can run. I thought the big defensive line that Arkansas had made that game more competitive because we just kept getting stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Guys couldn't get out the backfield. And then it was, I think, a more problematic game than it should have been in that situation.
I think it also makes it even more impressive how good Joey was.
Yeah.
Considering Tennessee in 2024 was at the top of the SEC. Tennessee averaged 225 yards per game running the football in 2024. There was always going to be a drop-off without Dylan Sampson, obviously as the SEC Offensive Player of the Year. But going from first to eighth in the SEC in running to 173 yards per game, down from 225. And oh, by the way, you didn't beat a FBS team with a winning record. Mm-hmm. This was not a crazy hard schedule. And certainly by SEC standards, Tennessee played an easy schedule.
No doubt.
Last season. And they still dropped from first to eighth in the SEC in running offense.
If you want to really go back and just evaluate the season as to why the running game has to get all the way up, is this part too. Two games that you could have won. No, I ain't going to say the other one, but should have won. Oklahoma, backbreaking. Run game was cheeks. And then the other one I think is more embarrassing than anything was how it happened and the continuation of it happening. Then you had no answers in the passing game either. And that's Vanderbilt. Could not move the line of scrimmage, not even a little bit against them.
And I'm glad you brought up those two specifically because it seemed like the plan defensively was similar in both those games. Teams are adjusting and blitzing late and sprinting guys into the box as the play clock gets down and forcing Tennessee to make checks. And then even if they don't stop and make those checks, if they're just snapping it, well, all of a sudden, Joey has planned a play or has adjusted based off of 5 men of the box. Then all of a sudden, last second, there's 8 men of the box.
Oh.
And then 2 of those guys still might drop out in coverage to where Tennessee just didn't know where the coverage or the blitz was coming from in those moments. And that's football at any level, but especially when you talk about Tennessee with tempo. A, it's one way to slow you down, and B, even if it doesn't slow you down, it's a way to confuse you or trick you.
Absolutely. And that's where, like I said, them dudes just being able to say, hey, and here's why we give credit too as well. I think Coach Glenn Ellaby, the offensive line coach, has gotten a ton better as a coach. I think the technique that he's teaching is very pro style. The offense is going to have his questions is on if it's a pro style offense, but those dudes are preparing themselves and being taught technique like NFL offensive linemen. So I give him that. The other part is there was a lot of interchanging. David Sanders Jr. out, you end up moving Jesse Perry. Like, there was a lot of movement on that offensive line. I give them that. But this year, I'm with you. You can't look and say what Clemson did and be like, well, we'll just run it back and we'll be the same. I do think the strength and conditioning coach, again, plays a huge part in this moving forward.
I don't think we can overstate how important that hire was for Josh Heupel. You look at the impact that Derek Owings had on Indiana, and especially on that defense, that Ramon didn't really rotate a lot of guys. Like, They played about 13 guys pretty consistently.
Mm-hmm.
With as little depth as you have now. Kurt Cignetti's talked about this with, he was on the podcast, was it Triple Option, Mark Ingram and Urban Meyer and those guys?
Is it there?
Talk about how short their practices are. And not to say that practice is totally changing at Tennessee. I don't think we know yet what that's really going to look like until they get into, spring work and fall and stuff like that. But like Kurt Cignetti has said, like, we never used all the practices given to us in spring. He's like, and in season, we're on the grass for an hour and a half to hour 50. He's like, a long day for us is an hour and 50 minutes. He's like, I don't have any depth.
Yeah.
He said, I've never been anywhere where I've had depth. We got to keep these guys fresh that we have at the top of the 2 deep.
There's a science behind it.
I think there is. And I think these days of these long, grinding practices that wear down a generation of athletes that's just not really wired the same way.
Out there some days.
Some days you're just out there just to prove a point. And just to be out there and just, can we form that quote-unquote callus like coaches always talk about in the film room? Because, like, they're still spending the hours that are being given to them. They're just not doing it out on the field to where their bodies are breaking down. Like, that's the thing that I'm really interested in that the new strength guys have talked about is we want guys setting speed PRs in November because why would we run our fastest and be our best and practice our best in fall camp when we're not playing anybody?
We had a scenario like that in the NFL. We were just sitting around, and like we end up having to ask the coaching staff, this is in the wintertime, man, y'all going to have to bring some heaters out here or some warm benches. And coach like, why? It's like, because we go through practice, and then we'll have a special team segment, defensive segment, 7-on-7, and we're sitting for like 30 to 40 minutes of non-work because we can't because all the other fields are occupied. We'll do 10 minutes of O-line stuff, but coach, we're wasting away out here in energy and on our feet for no particular reason. So I like that model. I do think more coaches should get to where it's more production and putting, I would say, enhanced pressure on messing up. If you mess up and ruin a rep, then you pay for it or you don't start. Somebody brought up in our YouTube chat, too, run game was too rotational, too. I agree with that. You got to go with the hot hand.
I agree. They didn't have a good enough feel for who was running well. They'd take the guy out who had just had a good drive all the time. Yeah. To that point, though, about practice length and changing the way Tennessee practices, it is a lot easier to justify that if you have a 24-year-old quarterback. Brent Hubbs said that a couple weeks ago with us. If you've got a young quarterback battle between George McIntyre and Faison Brandon, those guys need every second they can get with their receivers on the practice field. It's a lot easier to justify shortening practice and spending more time in the film room and in the meeting room and weight room when you have a quarterback. And to that point as well, Indiana's always had old quarterbacks under Kurt Cignetti. I mean, they've only had 2 years of them, but he's gone to the playoff 1 year and gone to the national title the other. Let's go to the phones when we come back. 615-737-1045. Garrett wants to chime in on Joey. We'll do that. Plus, our Olympic Minute is next. If you are moving in Middle Tennessee, maybe your anxiety just went up a little bit as I said the word moving. It's a stressful process, right? You need someone on your side that's going to make things stress-free. Bernie Gallerani gives you a guarantee when you work with him in Bernie Gallerani Real Estate. He guarantees to sell your home in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it. Yeah, there's no risk to you. He's going to take the stress out of the moving process. He's also going to let you out of the contract at any time. He's the real estate agent who has the 30-day guarantee to sell your home. Look, when I met Bernie for the first time, I could tell instantly his passion for helping people in Middle Tennessee. He's not that big national agent who just gives you that cookie-cutter approach to buying or selling in the real estate market. He knows Nashville, he knows the area, and he's willing to prove it by giving out his personal cell phone number with a 615 area code, by the way. 615-428-2644. You can check out Bernie Gallerani Real Estate online at Bernie Gallerani, GALLERANI.com. 615-428-2644 online at BernieGallerani.com. Low mortgage rates are back. Listen, Loan Pronto has fixed rate mortgages with APRs as low as 4.89%, lowest in years. Hey, it's Will Bowling. Smart homeowners are taking advantage of this while they can. If you got stuck in a 6% loan, you can lower your payment big time. Or you can keep your primary mortgage intact and get cash out of your equity with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. One homeowner just got $250,000 out of their home. They paid off all their credit cards and some car loans and cut their monthly expense by $2,000. Call now and see what option works best for you, but don't miss the big rate drop of 2026. Ask about new home loans, VA loans, full cash out refis, or their famous Rapid Equity Loan. You can close in less than 2 weeks, and you may be able to skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 615-499-5780 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal with no hard credit pull. Call 615-499-5780 now, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org. What's up? It's Will Bowling. Hey, if you were in crowded rooms over the last couple of months, maybe you learned again that, hey, I don't hear as well as I used to. Or maybe I just named that family member that you've been trying to convince, hey, well, why don't you try to get your hearing checked, right? Let's get you in some hearing aids, and that way we can have conversations while we're in crowded restaurants. Brentwood Hearing Center can help. Brentwood Hearing Center is going to make the process really easy for you because their team of doctors of audiology want to learn more about where you are having the most trouble hearing. Maybe it's on the job site. Maybe you're in a work environment where there's a lot of people talking around you and you're just having trouble communicating with clients, with customers. Or maybe it is at that watch party over the weekend or over the holidays when we're at cocktail parties, holiday parties, and you're hearing the table across from you and not the person in front of you. Brentwood Hearing Center makes the process easy. Online at BrentwoodHearingCenter.com. You can learn more about what they offer there, or just call them, 615-377-0420. Their goal is to get you off the sidelines and back in the game of better hearing. 615-377-0420. That's Brentwood Hearing Center. Better hearing, better life. Wrapping up hour 2 on your Wednesday morning, Ramon and Will. Mike Golic Jr. coming up in a half hour. We'll talk some football with him. Rhett Bryan at 9 o'clock. Your phone call is 615-737-1045. Garrett is in Murfreesboro wanting to talk about Joey Aguilar this morning. What's up, Garrett?
What's up? How y'all doing this morning?
Great.
We're good. Good morning.
I just wanted y'all's opinion. I know there's a lot of variables that still play in it, but if he's eligible for another year, I want to know y'all's opinion on what you think our record will be this season.
Thank you, Garrett. Appreciate the call. It's a good question.
If he does get to play, what's the projected record? Oh, Garrett. Let's look at this 26 schedule, man. I should probably already know this stuff.
They may be better as a team and may have the same record because the schedule is so much harder this upcoming season.
On the surface, because a lot of teams we thought would be good last year don't be good. Like, teams go back and forth on this when you look at how it fully breaks down. With him being back, I would say this. I would expect, with his veteran savviness, the second year in Heupel's offense, if he's there, he should be a whole lot better and understand it. The offense just flow a whole lot better. You look at the components of the offensive line being a step better, strength and conditioning program as well. The biggest question I have is defensive line rotation, the depth of it, how
getting after the passer is a major question mark.
I'm going 9, just off top. I ain't even looked at the schedule, to be quite honest with you.
I'd probably say 8-4 again, with losses to Texas A&M, and 2 others. I mean, at this point, like, we just kind of always have to pencil in the white knuckle road game that Tennessee always has. And that's not just Tennessee. It just the conference is so much deeper in terms of parity. Deeper is not the right word. Let me rephrase that. The gap between the top and the bottom is smaller than ever in the SEC right now. Going to Arkansas, I promise you, is not a guarantee. I mean, obviously we know that from the last time Tennessee went to Arkansas. Going to South Carolina is not a guarantee. LSU coming to town is a tough one. Obviously, Alabama. A&M on the road might be the hardest game on the schedule, to me personally. Yeah. Georgia Tech's not a guarantee in week 2. Like, I think they're probably 8-4. That being said, it is harder than ever to predict what a team's going to look like in February.
It really is.
Of all the turnover that happens year to year.
And that's why I'm hesitant to almost say, the expectation when you got a veteran quarterback coming back should be about 9 wins is what I'm going to, as far as lean out and say. 8 wins with Joey back, that's going to have a whole lot of questions. Well, should you just have gone with George or Faison, whoever the case may be? My expectation for him is 9. Just based off the quarterback.
It's fair. All right, you ready for our Olympic minute?
Let's do it.
Were we locked in on curling yesterday, gentlemen?
I was not. I tried to find even the replay. I was so
locked in.
I was not.
I saw somebody tweet the picture of Kurt Signetti, like with one eyebrow up, looking at the down and distance to the national championship. The video saying, "Me watching the curling." That's how I felt yesterday. Silver in mixed curling. First ever women's curling medal in U.S. history. So congratulations to Corey. Dang it. I watched this whole thing, and I was like, I'm going to be able to pronounce her name right. And I think I'm going to miss it. Corey Teesey, I think is how you say it.
Okay.
I don't know. Corey Dropkin and Corey Teesey, the two Corys. 6'5" to Sweden. Those darn Swedes. Ilya Malinin got a 108.16, winning the men's short program yesterday. Gold for Team USA there.
Okay.
How about women's hockey? Just absolutely curb-stomping.
I did see that.
Canada yesterday. 5-0.
Goal before the first intermission as
over
well.
Canada. That is Canada's worst loss against the Americans ever at the Olympics. Not ever. Since 1998. Jeez. They were without their captain, Marie-Philippe Poulet. I definitely didn't say that right.
It sounded good to me.
Excuses, though. Did you guys see what this skier did? The Norwegian biathlete yesterday?
Yes.
Oh, those are is that the one where they have to shoot?
No. Well, yes.
Just skiing with a gun on your back is crazy as hell.
I can tell you've not seen this story before because that was not the headline of the biathlon yesterday for Norwegian athlete Sturla Holm, who won a medal and then used his post-race interview to reveal he cheated on his girlfriend. She left him, and he hopes that, quote, committing social suicide might show how much I love her.
Whoa.
Oh, did you not see this either?
No.
Okay, neither of you saw this. All right.
See, Two Pros and a Cup of Joe were talking about something like this, and I was like, what the hell are they talking about?
So, Sturla Holm in biathlon, one of Norway's top biathletes, finished third in the 20-kilometer individual race. After, he's fresh off of this race. There's still steam coming up from his toboggan. Says, 6 months ago, I met the love of my life. 3 months ago, I made my biggest mistake and cheated on her, and I told her a week ago. It's been the worst week of my life. I hope that committing social suicide might show how much I love her. I'm taking the consequences for what I've done. I regret it with all my heart.
Yeah, she got to take him back. I'm going to be real.
I'm sorry I knocked the Doonies down, girl. I'll be back. I'm coming back to you with a gold. I promise. I'm so sorry, baby.
He did. Now, this is the thing. He's setting the precedence for, him doing something public to get her back every single time. That's the only thing that he's running into. Public embarrassment is one thing. But what can he do after this to top it if he slips up again, Bert? What is he going to do? Buy her a Lamborghini, a penthouse?
I am melting down my gold medal and donating it to charity to prove to my girlfriend, my now wife, it won't happen a third time, baby.
What?
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Where is that brother from?
Norway.
Norway?
That's what she said. They ain't Norway. I'm going to take you back.
That's well done.
That was good.
That's well done.
That was good, man.
He says, 3 months ago, I cheated on the love of my life, the most beautiful and kindest person.
Now we got to see the girl you cheated with. You got to show her.
Find his Instagram. Go to the tag part of his Instagram. I guarantee you she's in there.
Ramon, the sleuth over there, he figuring it out.
I'll find some stuff.
Tagged part.
I'll find some stuff over there. You feel
Oh,
me?
man.
We can find it. Internet gonna tell. It's a digital fingerprint. We got everything on there.
Crazy.
I don't know if that's good for him. I genuinely don't, because now he's embarrassed her twice.
This guy is a 6-time biathlon world champion. Was a relay gold medalist at the 2022 Winter Olympics in Beijing. So he knows how to withstand the temptations of Olympic Village. It's not like this is even his first time in the Olympic Village, understanding how busy many of those athletes are when they're not competing. But
why didn't he just go date the other girl that broke up his love then?
Clearly he regretted it. I know.
That's tough, man.
He's making it bad for fellas out here. I don't know about him now, Will.
Yeah, what's a guy like me supposed to do if I ever mess up? I got to come on here in front of everybody and be like, everybody listen, I'm sorry.
Or buy a $4 million diamond ring like Kobe did back in the day, or Lamborghini that's automatic that never made automatic.
Yeah, it's not like biathlon is attracting the ladies, right? It's not like he's a hockey player.
Seriously.
Hockey players are good-looking dudes. On the list of, sports that have the most attractive fellas, we're just being honest here.
Yeah.
It's probably hockey is up there.
Yeah, it's probably, I don't know, Shiner likes baseball guys. That's why I can't stand baseball guys.
Keep RJ away from her.
That was
I'm
always,
telling you.
When
That's
you,
why I ain't been
when
to
you
a
were at
game.
a party in college and the baseball team walked in, It was a wrap.
It was over.
with.
Go ahead and get your
All
girl
right.
and say, baby,
Really?
Where
I'll
else
see
we
you
going?
tomorrow.
Oh,
Let me know where I
absolutely.
need to pick you up at.
Yes.
No.
Ramon, I was, again, biathlon, the cross-country skiing. As a cross-country runner, I can confirm to you that baseball team walks in, you're heading for someone else's house.
Will's telling you that they ain't getting a trickle down. They ain't getting the Reaganomics of women like the other
Olympic athletes are low on the totem pole. Low on the totem pole. I know. That's why I was told to marry the first girl that laughed at my joke. So I said bet, and I'm getting married this June to a lovely lady who's on News 2 named Peyton Kennedy.
There are two different lifestyles in college.
Oh, there's
isn't
no
it?
doubt. There's no doubt.
Lord, I love that you can admit that. 'Cause
But Peyton tries to convince me too. She's like, "Oh, I would have liked you in college." I was like, "I don't know." My glow up happened post college. I don't know. A big gust of wind knocked me over when I was still running back then. I don't.
Maybe I wouldn't love you if you was a worm, and you wouldn't love me in college. That's two things I know.
I believe I would have had a crush on you, yes, but I'm like, I don't. We met at the perfect time. Worked out perfectly. Praise the
y'all
Lord.
do know what I'm saying. It is Valentine's week, man.
Yeah, right. Yesterday was me and Peyton's 3-year dating anniversary.
Ooh, that was good.
I feel very lucky.
That was good.
Anyway,
right
there's
there.
your Olympic minute. 615-737-1045. Brian Callahan's been doing interviews. He just got hired. We'll tell you
did?
where and what he's going to be doing next.
Center Checks and Low T Center have been highlighted for having the highest quality testosterone on the market, y'all. I'm still laughing from the last segment, just so you guys know, man. It's good for the soul. But I'm going to tell you this, man. They only use pharmaceutical grade testosterone, never compounded testosterone at low T, all right? So you know what's going into your body. I'm telling you, don't settle for compounded mystery testosterone. Go with the safer, smoother TRT with real human providers at a Center Checks and Low T Center, man. They dose the TRT more frequently than most clinics to make sure your testosterone levels are always optimal and don't dip below the baseline. This keeps your TRT smooth and keep side effects in check as well. They also stay on top of your health with regular medical testing so they can make sure your TRT is always safe. I'm always telling you guys, man, we worry about the outside of what's going on with us and how we look, but you need to go check out your testosterone levels. It might be because you're so tired of gaining weight or whatever the case may be. I'm here to tell you they can fix that for you, and I got the website that can help you set an appointment. It is getmyhealthfix.com. Again, getmyhealthfix.com. Or go to one of the many low T centers around the mid-state, all right? And make sure you tell them that Ramon sent you.
8:04. Good morning from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Down Studios. I am Robert Walsh. The Titans are hiring Wayne State linebackers coach and special teams coordinator Ahmad Saleh. Saleh, who is the cousin of new Titans head coach Robert Saleh. He coached all conference performers at both linebacker and on special teams this past season at Wayne State. In college hoops, number 19 Vanderbilt takes down Auburn 84-76. Commodores were excellent from the free throw line, knocking down 26 of 30. 21 Arkansas took down LSU, who has been putrid in SEC play, 91-62. Darius Acuff Jr. dominating, going 13 of 22 to finish with 28 points. For all your foundation repair and your waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Hour number 3, second half of the show on this Wednesday morning. Glad you are with us halfway home in the middle of your week. 615-737-1045 is the number. We've touched on cockroaches, on the Titans defensive line, on Vols expectations, and on infidelity in biathlon. What else is next? Who's to say? 615-737-1045, Ramon.
Every angle we've hit today, man. I'm here for it.
The thing I love about Mike Golic Jr., who joins us in 15 minutes, is he will be ready with an opinion on potentially all of those things.
He will. And I'm here for it, man. I will have to ask him, too, because he's in a very sweet spot with his pops right now, too. Them being able to be at the Super Bowl together, man. He posted a picture of them together at the Super Bowl, both working it, both have played in the NFL. That's got to be a phenomenal moment for both of those guys right there. And I know Mike admires his father like crazy, so I'm going to hit him in the fields just for a second. He probably going to joke around anyway because it's just what we do.
Absolutely.
Solid guy, though, man. I love Mike.
The best.
He
Absolutely
is a prolific snacker. And if you guys have time, I wonder if you'd ask him about, did you guys see this McDonald's caviar debacle?
No.
So McDonald's for Valentine's Day was offering everyone these packages where it came with caviar, sturgeon caviar. It was pretty high-dollar caviar. Yeah. A McDonald's $25 gift card, a caviar spoon, some creme fraiche, and you're supposed to eat that on top of their chicken McNuggets. I attempted to order these. The site crashed as soon as the timer ran out. So I was unable to secure these.
Wow.
But I wonder if he would have been interested in something like that with the eclectic palate that he has.
Absolutely.
We have to ask him about that.
Will
What do you
absolutely
mean?
be asked. That might lead the segment.
I don't see why it wouldn't at this point.
McDonald's caviar. Okay. Or as Ramon calls it, because he's from the South, McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Where is the line in Tennessee where it changes from McDonald's to McDonald's? Because rural West Tennessee,
It's Mac.
I don't know.
McDonald's.
The line where it becomes
is it Dixon?
where it's vehicle
That's
instead
why
of vehicle. That's how I know a real Southern dude. If somebody says vehicle, like icicle, then you know that guy has had grits before.
And that's around the same border where it goes from oil change to oil change.
Oil change.
Yeah.
Can I be
Oil
honest
change.
with y'all about grits?
You may. Yeah.
First time I ever had them was in college.
Really?
We weren't a grits family growing up. We were a white rice family.
Well, that's okay.
See, that's Southern too, though.
I'm willing to let that pass, but how you eat your grits.
Me?
So are you a butter with sugar or a butter and salt kind of
No
guy?
butter. I can't do the butter in it for whatever reason, unless
well,
it's already
that's
coming
strike
with it.
one
Like
right there.
I don't put the slicing butter. Think of cholesterol and stuff like that at
Okay,
40
well,
now.
Okay, look
Make
at
me
you,
feel bad
skinny.
then. Sorry.
You looking
I'm
skinny.
trying. Listen, I got to get this football weight off. Either way, I'm saying I do salt, pepper with just a sprinkle of sugar with hot sauce in it.
I can deal with that. Now, it's the people that put
Not
sugar
like
in their
sugar grits.
spaghetti. Is that what I can't stand?
No.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew
What?
it.
As
Really?
a kid, I did.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
I knew
As
it.
a kid, I did.
I have never even thought about doing
As a
that.
kid, that's the reason I like Jiffy cornbread with it. Like I would like
With your spaghetti?
Spaghetti with a side of Jiffy cornbread with some fried chicken on the side. Man.
Dang, I ain't never had cornbread with spaghetti. You're into real deep holler stuff with
We
that
don't have-
now.
I keep saying this. I got to invite you guys over. Okay?
Not if you having sweet spaghetti. Don't.
No. That's an option of yours. I don't have it now. But as a kid growing up, sugar went in spaghetti.
It's vomit on my sweater already. Sweet spaghetti.
So what?
Go ahead and shut it down. Shut it down.
What's your indulgence that you do then before we get to sports again? What's your indulgence that you
Like a weird food thing that you like?
Yeah.
I'll tell you one I've been on. I've been having Hobbit dinners.
What's a Hobbit?
Hobbit dinners?
Hobbit, if you're unfamiliar, like Frodo and Sam from Lord of the Rings, and they have like first breakfast, second breakfast, but they don't have a lot of made food. So the other day, Cheyenne was feeling sickly. She didn't want nothing to eat, and I didn't really feel like cooking, so I kind of went in the fridge and got like a couple cold cuts, and then took me a piece of Parmesan and cut me a big thing of Parmesan off, and I had some green onions and some raw broccoli. I was like, dang, I feel like I'm just a hobbit today. And I kind of liked it. Like, you just pick a little bit of this, pick a little bit of that, take a bite of onion, take a bite of cheese. Cheese and onions go really well together.
I'm messing with it.
Yeah, they do go really well
I
together.
have impromptu, like made like for lunch, even a dinner one time. Basically a baby charcuterie board. We got some grapes in there.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Some cheese and some crackers in the house with
Normalize
some pepperoni.
the fellas loving a charcuterie board.
I didn't know if it was weird to y'all. is all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't really have any weird food things. I was a really picky eater as a kid, which will surprise no one. I'm not anymore. Like, I will eat anything now.
Yeah.
But I'm still probably pretty normal in terms of what I eat. I can't even think of anything. That's weird.
Yeah. Nah, that was
about what I don't like.
spaghetti. I sprinkled some sugar in my spaghetti back in the day. Not anymore, man. He said I'm eating like Buddy the Elf.
What's your favorite color? The New York Giants are hiring Brian Callahan, quarterback's coach. This reported just a few minutes ago. It is a who's who now of former Titans assistants in New York. Ian Rappaport starting off the reporting saying Giants hiring former Titans head coach Brian Callahan as quarterback's coach and passing game coordinator. John Harbaugh continued to round out his staff, adding QB expertise and head coaching experience. Frank Bush added to that staff last night as well in New York.
This is why I continually tell people the league is an interconnected league, man. These coaches will look out for one another. It's crazy that you'll see one get burned and not get hired in those places. Coach Callahan has some wisdom and connections. That's what we're learning more than anything. He might not have been ready for this job as a head coach, and I think sometimes there are numerous coaches that aren't ready to be head coaches and leaders of men. He just got smacked over the top of the head. It'd be fascinating to see if he goes the Josh McDaniels route, though, get another opportunity somewhere else as a play caller. Because Harbaugh's had success, and if he does, his staff's going to get more attention to it.
I think Brian Callahan would probably tell you that his skill set is so suited for being a quarterback's coach as well. Mm-hmm. Like, I think he is the perfect good cop that understands quarterbacks really well and understands what they need, what they are looking for, the ability to talk about things at the headset or on the sideline. I just feel like that is where he has cut his teeth and had his most success in this league, is essentially being early in his career what Bo Hardegree was for the Titans this year. And being that for Matthew Stafford, being that for really Joe Burrow in a way, obviously with Zach Taylor being the offensive play caller, being that for Peyton Manning in Denver. Like his most impressive parts of his resume are the quarterback's coach parts of the resume. And I think as just the kind of personality that he has, he is really well suited to being, I think, a good cop on a staff like that. Brian Callahan is as good of a dude as you're going to spend time with, in my opinion, and I know I've not been doing this very long, like he's as good a guy as you're going to spend time with.
Absolutely. Too good.
In this league. Yeah.
Too good.
I think you could make that argument that maybe to be the head honcho, he might be too good of a guy. But for a quarterback's coach who's, you may get chewed out by the head coach. You may get, a little bit more stern talking to Ramon maybe from the offensive coordinator.
Right.
To me, when I see quarterbacks coaches, it's often like put your arm around the quarterback like, all right, here we go. How do we make this work? What do you need? How can I help you? Like, that's the job Brian Callahan's, I think, really well suited to do for him.
Is it far-fetched? I know I've said it. He gets another head coaching job?
Boy, I don't know.
On the surface level?
To me, if I'm an NFL owner or GM wanting to hire Brian Callahan again, he would have to have play calling experience that goes better than what happened here.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I just think he's going to have to go somewhere where there's either a defensive head coach in charge and he's the head coach of the offense, the way Daboll is going to be here, or just a place where the head coach isn't the offensive play caller and he can show that, hey, I can call plays in this league.
Well, I would think he softens Miss Amy's pockets a little bit by taking his salary up there.
And now the trade. I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad. We hadn't been working together in long enough. I've lost your cadence.
Oh.
See, I false started, dude. That's 5. That's 5 right there. But the trade is complete now. The trade is complete. The failed head coach in New York came here to work with Cam Ward, the quarterback that he couldn't get, and the failed head coach here goes to New York to work with the quarterback that he didn't get.
In a lesser role.
And I'll take it one step further. Nick Suss literally just tweeted this too. Giants fired former Titans defensive coordinator Shane Bowen to hire former Titans defensive coordinator Denard Wilson.
Dang.
Yeah.
Are they cousins?
I mean, I don't know. A lot of people move to Nashville from New York, I guess. Not just a part of the football trade. This is just our trade as a city. So many New Yorkers move here that we're going to send you our former offensive and defensive play callers.
Yeah, T-Man. Bill Callahan's the offensive line coach in Atlanta in a YouTube chat.
Correct.
Hey, Savage, it's okay to cut him off, Burt.
Ron Slay in the
So
F and
many
Bake chat
flagrant
says
moments.
it's okay to cut him off, Burt. I haven't heard the Burt name in a while either.
Well, it's funny. Jonathan Schaefer texted me this morning and said, dang, dude, that's another flag.
Yeah, who's that?
That's another person.
Jabril was texting you this morning?
Yeah, Jehoshaphat let me know. Hey, Burt on in the morning.
Oh, Jehovah. We haven't heard from him in a while.
Jehovah? Jonas.
You were a witness to Jehovah's text this morning. Coming up, Mike Golic Jr. joins the show. Is the type of how you build a Super Bowl winning roster changing? We'll get Mike Golic Jr.'s opinion on that and infidelity in biathlon coming up next.
Guys, why not go over the top this Valentine's? And really make a statement with something that is so personal, so romantic, and so meaningful. I'm talking about something amazing from Genesis Diamonds. Something she can keep for years and years. Listen, flowers are nice. We all know that. But nothing is more timeless than a dazzling bracelet, pair of diamond earrings, and colored gemstone pendant. And at Genesis, they put together a special selection of thoughtful, affordable gifts for this Valentine's, including all new creations from their exclusive designers. Truly unique pieces that she will go crazy over, all right? And they got the best value around. Genesis has a new half-price vault. It's a special section of exquisite jewelry at an incredible 50% off. Yes, that's half price for you math geniuses out there, okay? Genesis has amazing jewelry starting at just $499. Talking about diamond studs, bangles, bracelets, even engagement and wedding rings that she'll never see anywhere else. So this Valentine's, let the non-commissioned experts at Genesis show you how to say I love you louder than ever with a classic, elegant gift that goes beyond the ordinary. Genesis Diamonds and luxury pre-owned Rolex watches.
Ramona Will, 104.5 The Zone, rolling on here in hour number 3. Ramon Foster and Will Bowling, joined by the co-host of Golic and Golic on FanDuel Sports Network. He is Mike Golic Jr. And I'll be honest, Mike, every time we send out the tweet of Mike Golic Jr. joins us now talking about, I don't even try to put in the topics of what we're going to get into. It's just our friend Mike Golic Jr. joins us. It's probably going to be food. It's probably going to be football, probably going to be infidelity in biathlon and the Olympics. I don't want to box you in, Mike. We're just going to do it all this morning.
I appreciate that. I like to channel one of my mentors in John Stugatz Wiener from the Dan Lebitard show, who said sometimes content has to be like a lazy river. You get on, you get your raft, and then you let it take you where you're going to go, and you don't fight it along the way.
Yep. I love it. I saw you tweeted out this Norwegian biathlete that confessed that he cheated on his girlfriend after winning a medal in the Olympics yesterday. How do you recover from this, Mike? Is this? I don't understand. The biggest moment of your life. I know he's probably got another medal, I think, earlier, but this is the highlight of the Olympics for me. Maybe not for his ex-girlfriend.
No, and you know what? We finally heard a response from her this morning.
Oh, did we?
Where she said, I didn't ask to be dragged into this. This is textbook love bombing. This guy not only outed himself as a cheater, but also somewhat toxic in the way that he's trying to go about this. To answer your question, you don't recover from this. This is who you are now. This is your Olympic legacy at this point. All we are going to see for the rest of the time when this man's name comes up, when you open up his Wikipedia page, is that picture of him breaking down, crying on camera because he realized he messed up, and like a lot of other people we've heard about in the Olympic Village, couldn't keep it in his pants.
It's insane.
Mike, I swear that was the first thing I said. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And I was like, hold up, wait a minute. Kobe bought a $4 million ring, had a Lamborghini custom made for his wife. Brother.
And SEO follows you for a long time.
What are we doing here? I don't know if she wants that, man. And then if she gets back with him, Mike, publicly, brother, what are we doing?
Yeah, I had a lot of questions about strategy here. And you know what? It's a good reminder. We fall into this trap a lot. You think in the NFL when you're looking in the hiring cycle and everyone's like, oh, yeah, hot coordinator, calls great plays, different skill set when it comes to that level, and you're making the move to head coach. It's the same here. This guy is an incredible biathlete. He's done a great job to do what he can do to get to the Olympics. Interpersonal dynamics maybe lacking a little bit. Maybe you see why he's playing an individual sport, not a team sport. Now all of a sudden this starts to make a little more sense to you.
I love it.
It's silly, man. I just got to ask you before we go further. I saw the picture you posted with Junior Pops out there in Santa Clara at the Super Bowl. Mike, how cool or surreal is it that you get the opportunity to work with your pops like this? Because I know that was a moment, man. The weather was beautiful. You were stress-free and just having fun. How was it?
It was great, man. To be out there, we were there doing the pregame radio show with Westwood One, who we had done, Monday night pregame and halftime radio all year long. And every once in a while, I do have to kind of catch myself because I've been coworkers with my dad for a long time now. Going back to Golic and Wingo at ESPN, and then the stop at DraftKings, now at FanDuel Sports Network. We've been fortunate to do this for a long time, but even Kevin Harlan came down on the show with us. He was going to be on the call for Westwood One on the Super Bowl. And, he gets to do a lot of stuff with his daughter, Olivia Harlan Decker, who's in the industry as well. And I saw pictures of them prepping for the Super Bowl. And even he sat down on there and was like, you guys realize how crazy this is, right? How cool this is for you. And that sort of snapped me back into it, where when you got a moment like that and everyone's got their different spot along the way. And for us, it was, the concourse looking out at the stadium. It's hey, this is pretty cool. Let's make sure that we capture this and can remember this and remember how unique of an opportunity this was.
Man, it's awesome.
That's awesome.
Really cool. Mike Golic Jr., our guest, FanDuel Sports Network on Golic and Golic. Mike, it's interesting how 2 years in a row we are watching the Super Bowl winner kind of reclaim the whole defense wins championships model. And you have two quarterbacks, not to take anything away from Jalen Hurts, who aren't Patrick Mahomes, for lack of a better term, right? Are we watching the DNA of championship building and roster building? Are we watching this pathway change, Mike, or is this a 2-year trend, flashes in the pan? What kind of stands out about the Seattle roster build and how maybe teams will try to emulate that moving forward?
Yeah, and Ramon knows this, far better than me, but the pendulum in this league can swing somewhat quickly because there are talented coordinators on both sides of the ball who spend their lives trying to find answers to the problems posed by the other side of the football. And the last 2 years, we've kind of seen the final boss of that defense that was designed to limit all those big plays when Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow started throwing all over the yard and putting up these big plays. Think Mahomes and Tyreek Hill is maybe the zenith of that, of, all right, we're going to play two safeties back, and we're going to make sure we take that away, and then everything else we're going to build from there. And you had Vic Fangio, who's one of the original architects of that last year, and then you had the next iteration of that, sort of that next mutation that Mike McDonald's been a part of going back to Baltimore, where it's, all right, we're going to play that two high safety shell, and we're also going to have all these sim pressures in here. We're going to have this space alien playing nickel that was Kyle Hamilton and now has become Nick Emanwari. That's this jack of all trades that allows us to stay in one personnel group for the majority of time. And, we're also going to build the house, I think, kind of the way you think of like college Georgia and Kirby Smart's defense, where it's, hey, in the box, we got space aliens. Byron Murphy's here, and he's going to rip your face off. Leonard Williams, built like an actual lion. Like all these things and the interior that allow them to like play with the kind of numbers that lets you take away those deep passes and still feel good about what you're going to do up front. And so, it's, I don't want to undersell either, like how difficult that transformation is, how much harder it is to hit on a bunch of great defensive players instead of just one really good quarterback or a couple really good players on offense. So it's hard to say this is replicable because you need the great defensive mind and a host of great players like the ones that I just named. But there's no question right now, there's a blueprint out here, at least for this point in time, on how you can build this to stop what current NFL, McVay, Kyle Shanahan, and the rest of these guys on the other side will have as the rebuttal here as we go forward.
Mike Golic Jr., our guest. Mike, it's so interesting, too, how locally the Titans are trying to emulate some of that by hiring Robert Saleh. And instead of going young Shanahan tree offensive coordinator, head coach, they want to zig while everyone else is zagging a little bit. And I'm curious, Mike, from your perspective and just playing offensive line and watching the Pete Carroll coaching tree on defense kind of evolve. What challenges does a quote-unquote one-gap defense give you as an offensive lineman, and how will Robert Saleh's scheme that he brings from San Francisco put offenses kind of in conflict, and what kind of the trademarks what will look like?
Yeah, well, I mean, you mentioned one gap. It's the most simplified version of this, right? Like, people have heard a bunch of two-gapping stuff. Gap and a half has been really popular in the last few years, especially going out, to some of what like teams like the Rams done or some of these other teams. But, getting upfield and causing problems to me was always the most stressful. Like when I think of, especially this last year now, when healthy, which was a fleeting moment in time for the San Francisco 49ers in 2025, and the group they had, like you had guys that were built to get upfield and cause problems, to try and find seams and holes and exploit them with get off time, thinking the way that Nick Bosa's done his entire career. And that always stressed me out the most because, like, when guys are two-gap and when guys are trying to hold their spots, you sort of know where they're going to be. It's the guy that can work, get off the line of scrimmage, get upfield that stressed me the most, whether it was in pass protection where, as we've had the debate publicly because of Will Campbell for the last couple of days, like you've really got to be on your P's and Q's with where am I going to get angles wise? How am I going to do this in the run game? Do I have to lose a little bit of ground to get over to my spot because this guy's going to be coming off like a bat out of hell? And so all of those things combined with the fact that, and I say this knowing full well, hey, it didn't work out for him overly well in New York this year, but it's the freaking Jets. So let's be real. Like, I was high on Aaron Glenn coming over there because he had made chicken salad out of chicken you-know-what in Detroit for the back half of the season in 2024. It's kind of the same with Robert Saleh now. Obviously, he's got a recent head coaching tenure that didn't go great. Again, the common denominator is the freaking Jets. But he went back to San Francisco, and this year the house is just burning down while he's inside. Every great defensive player they have is going down. And he still finds a way. They can't get pressure on the quarterback. That's fine. They're still finding ways to keep them out of the end zone and get the ball back to that offense. And so I think schematically there's things to be excited about, especially with the personnel in Tennessee. But as much as anything, I do think Robert Saleh showed once again, hey, he's really good at this. It's just hard to overcome, again, the freaking Jets of it all.
No doubt about it. We're talking to Mike Golic Jr. this morning. Mike, you mentioned something, man, made me think a second ago. He's like, the league always finds its way to correct itself, either through defense or style and scheme. And it always finds itself trying to replicate what others have done. I just want to look at this situation of the Super Bowl so far. One, everybody's probably going to be looking for a Sam Darnold type. Who's the rehash quarterback that we can make our very own? It's going to be hard to do because that's a unique situation. But the other part as well is first-year Super Bowl coach and Coach Vrabel. Like, how unique, Mike, are those two things, and how I would say fans probably need to remove themselves from that expectation of it just being normal, because Sam Darnold was more out than in this league about 3 years ago, you know?
No, 100%. And, as everyone tries to do that, we were kind of going through that exercise yesterday, and it's interesting because you also had this last year, like with Daniel Jones. They were trying to speed that process along. Like Sam Darnold had to do his 40 days and 40 nights out in the desert where, he was a guy that was actually a backup and actually got to sit around in a couple of these spots and learn from people around there, learn in San Francisco behind Brock Purdy. And with Kyle Shanahan, he had that chance to internalize all that stuff. They put Daniel Jones out there right again. And hey, listen, like a lot of cases, different context matters, and he was playing pretty well before the injury, ended his season. And so it makes you wonder what it's going to be like for guys like Tua Tagovailoa, like Kyler Murray this offseason, who are the, prime candidates to be moved on from their team one way or another, guys who are flawed in their own way, but guys who could, maybe in a situation like Minnesota with the Vikings where J.J. McCarthy, you're not sold on him after the 2 years where he's been largely banged up and went on field, one of the worst quarterbacks statistically in the NFL. Maybe one of them is the kind of competition that you can bring in for something like this. On the one-year head coaching side, it's also difficult because you do have people that fit the archetype of a Mike Vrabel who comes in as a veteran coach with a lot of tenure into a spot with promise, like, Kevin Stefanski going down to Atlanta, John Harbaugh going to New York. The difference is, when you look at those spots, Atlanta, I think, has the most cap space of some of those new teams high up on that list. Like the Patriots last year when Mike Vrabel came there, wound up with 11 draft picks that they made and the second most effective cap space going into the offseason to spend. And they did. Like, you've got to have the resources to turn over the rosters in the way they did. And some of these ones are closer than others. In New York, they feel like they got a good young offensive core and some guys that can rush the passer. In Atlanta, certainly they feel good about the defense, and Michael Penix Jr. comes back healthy with all that talent on offense. So it's different situations that might be further along, but you can kind of see little bits of the proving ground of the areas where this is similar for these teams that might inspire that kind of hope this offseason.
No doubt. I guess hope in the offseason what college teams have as well, Mike. Where are you at with the state of college football in the $30, $40 million rosters and stuff like that as we transition with college talk?
Boy, it's interesting, Ramon, to kind of look around at what we're walking into next season with. And I couch this by saying this year in college football was supposed to be massive crop of great quarterbacks, guys that are going to blow everyone's socks off when it comes to the next level. And the NFL draft this spring was going to be swimming with them. And then reality set in. And now we've got Fernando Mendoza and the Pips going into the draft cycle this year for the quarterback position. So life can change pretty quick. But that being said, on paper right now, next season in college football looks like it should be a knockdown, drag-out, bare-knuckle brawl between some really great teams. Like, you look at how many of these teams are bringing back quality players, like Ohio State, who brings back the best receiver in college football, and Julian Sand, who was a Heisman finalist at quarterback in a team that made the playoff last year. Oregon doing that very same thing at quarterback, and now kind of like Penn State a year ago, so many positions along the way. Notre Dame brings back C.J. Carr and a team that's got a bunch of talent across it and did well in the portal this year. And you just keep looking down, Gunnar Stockton coming back at a Georgia team that won the SEC and made the playoff. Like, it's more continuity than I think a lot of people expected in this day and age of college football, where the sport was supposed to become purely transactional. Everyone's a free agent every year. You're never going to get to know these guys and know the players along multiple years. And we're walking into a season where you're going to have a bunch of guys who have played multiple seasons for their team at premier positions. And now that continuity combined with the ability to go out and spend a little bit of extra has some teams looking really ready. Like, I think we're going to be pretty deep next year in true national championship contenders in college football. And you know this, it hasn't felt that way for a long time around the sport.
Mike Golic Jr., our guest this morning on Ramon and Will. You get him on the FanDuel Sports Network. Golic and Golic is terrific. At Mike Golic Jr. on Twitter. Mike, it always flies by when you join us. Appreciate the time as always.
Man.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, fellas. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it,
sir.
Mike.
There's Mike Golic Jr. with us. I hate that we didn't have time to talk about the caviar thing.
So we barely even scratched the surface.
Always. Yeah, he's the best.
I know we needed to ask him about Notre Dame. We call him back.
Coming up, I have a major complaint on a heinous act from a major American pro sports city. We'll do that coming up next. Wrapping up hour 3 with more NFL headlines here on Ramon and Will. Rep Brian coming up in 15 minutes. Going to dive into some NFL drafts. Looking forward to that. The city of Seattle has done something egregious, Ramon and Bert. Bert's with us, filled in for Justin this morning. They are not allowing kids out of school for today's championship parade for the Super Bowl.
Wrong as hell.
Seattle Public Schools announced this week that schools will remain open and, quote, parade attendance will not be considered an excused absence. Saying, as the city plans celebrations, including a victory parade planned for Wednesday at 10 a.m., we want families to know that Seattle Public Schools will remain open with the normal early release Wednesday schedule. The district's release read. Chief Operating Officer Fred Podesta with the statement. Apparently, they get out of school between 1:10 to 2:30 on Wednesday early release day in Seattle as well. Why don't you just release at a normal time and then let them out for the Super Bowl parade?
Man, I treat it like boys in the hood with Doughboy. I'm going anyway. Seriously, I'm going anyway. Like, it's been how long for them? It's been a little minute for them winning a championship. Like, everybody in the city is going. Like, I love a good rule follower, okay, because I'll blur the lines. You know what I'm saying? I'll kick across the line every once in a while. This is just one of them situations. Like, it's okay to be wrong. Like, senior skip day, oh, you went to class still? Nerd. Legitimately, like, it's okay to do this.
You get 16 of them bad boys. You get 16 absences. This is what absences were made for.
Absolutely.
When my teacher asked me, we have a pop quiz on the day of the parade.
Oh, there's some there is some teacher there that's like, all right, for the students that are here, we're going to have, it's one of those like easy, like 5-question quizzes where it's like, what color is the sky? And like, you're not even actually learning anything. You're just literally like rewarding people for coming to class.
It makes zero sense to me. It's just like, what are we doing here? And I'm all for having great grades and following the rules, but a little bit of good trouble is allowed every once in a while.
That's absolutely right.
And that's all it is.
Probably some teacher that's like, all right, instead of having class, I'll make a deal with you. If you're good for the first 30 minutes, we'll turn the parade on the TV or on the smart board or whatever they have now. Which, to be fair, there is no more fun feeling when you were a kid in school than watching TV in class. Like the teacher that is like, we had one teacher in middle school that during March Madness would always do that and be like, all right, if you're good, like we're watching basketball games the second 45 minutes of class.
Miss Ferris did it for us.
I learned that is not a regular thing everywhere. In North Carolina, when Duke, NC State, Wake Forest, UNC, we got it during the ACC tournament. We got it during March Madness.
Yep.
If games are on during the day, the teachers will have them on the TV for you to watch while you're working.
Oh, that's cold.
Every game, dude. Every game in high school.
I'm more productive with it on.
That's what I'm saying. That's how I work as an adult.
Same.
Remember they used to tell you, like, oh, you're not going to have a calculator in your pocket. They're not going to let you go use the bathroom when you go work. Well, they do. They do.
How wrong were they?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, they also said we had to write in cursive when we became adults, too. And look how that turned out.
Dead language.
I do think they need to have that still, okay? Like, you need to be able to sign your signature is all I'm saying. Even though I know it's digital.
Crazy take from you.
That's not a crazy take.
No, there's no need to write cursive unless you're signing your name. Why do we need cursive?
You should have some, like you should be able to write your name in cursive. I do think that.
That's athlete privilege. Just because you had to sign footballs like that don't mean that everybody got to sign like that.
Lamar's writing his name in standard English. L-A. Like, what is that?
I need to be able to read it. Come on, man.
You do not.
See, because when you signed something, it increased the value of the item. If Bert and I sign something, we are decreasing the value of that item. If you give us a football to sign, it could be $15.99 on eBay. We sign it, and that thing's $12.99 at best.
Okay, what
all
about
of a sudden
balancing a checkbook? Like, what about those type things?
Okay.
We ain't got
we know how to sign
no
our
more.
names.
What you
It's
mean?
Just, like, what? They made it seem like if you had to pen a letter to your I don't know,
your
to the
old
girl
coach
that you accidentally cheated on before you did biathlon. In order to get her back, you had to pen a letter in cursive.
So people don't know how to address letters anymore. Where the stamp goes on the letter that you send out.
Well, that's different.
None of those things anymore.
Those are still life skills you need.
Those are aligning with the same things, like writing in cursive and balancing a checkbook. See, I was born in 86. I get it. I had to go through all that. So I'm making sure every single one of my kids go through that as well, man. Listen, if Miss Heaston have me write in cursive or Miss Ward have me learn how to do it, absolutely everybody else needs to as well.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Ramon. Kids nowadays need to know how to program VCRs. You're right. They should have to do that. You're right. Kids these days should wipe off records before they put them on the record player. Okay. You are right. Okay. Kids these days should have batteries for their CD players so it don't end up dying when they out on their walk. You know, you're right, Ramon.
Okay.
We should still be able to smoke inside restaurants and on planes. You know, Ramon. Well, hang on now. You might be able to.
You're not a coach there.
It sounds a little personal for you. Yeah. Some of these things are necessary for living, man. That's why we're getting lapped right now in education, because we're removing everything, man. All right, never mind.
Anyway.
All right. So
there are kids right now.
Like, genuinely, when's the last time you wrote in cursive, Bert?
Probably when I sign something from the bank, like if I'm getting money out and I got to do a SIG or something.
And now I know how to forge your signature because you write in block letters out here.
Holding a pencil with a clenched fist.
Yeah, that's right.
You know another one that's getting pushed back or not speaking enough of too? There are teenagers, because I'm in that world with parents that got kids, that are willing to let their kids either get a car, drive, and they're choosing not to. I saw a parent recently driving
Kids
a kid
don't
around.
want to drive?
Don't want to drive because Uber makes it easier. These scooters makes it easier. Like, they not driving.
That's lame.
It's very lame.
That's almost as lame as kids talking about or teachers talking about now. My best friend's wife is a teacher, and remember we used to have to give up and give presentations and get up. Kids nowadays will have permission slips from their therapist or doctors that says it is a health issue if he gets up, like it makes him uncomfortable. And now kids can't talk. You can't talk to nobody. You can't talk to nobody unless you can text them or get on Facebook and send them a message like, "You up, big head?" Can't nobody talk face to face no more.
That's a lost art.
You up, big head.
I'm telling you, I tell my boys.
The whole point of it's to be uncomfortable. Like that's how you learn.
Public speaking was literally to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Conversation rules the nation, man. Y'all got to have good conversation and learn how to balance your checkbooks and write in cursive. Goodness. I clearly don't need to be a principal. My brother Renardo, though, is in school for that right now. He's doing his administration degree.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, shout out to Nardo. His whole family's in administration. Well, his wife.
So anyway, if you are listening to us from Seattle today and expecting to get out of school to go see the parade, not going to happen.
Sit there and read, kid.
I would. I don't care. I'd have the flu, strep. I'd have a cold. I'd have everything. I'd have every sickness all at once.
My mama would have made me go. That's what's so cold about this situation. I'd have been in school. There is no way I was getting out. I was taking my black behind to school because mama was not finna have me and Nardo at home eating up all the food too. That's it. That was why we went to school. So y'all don't sit at home and eat up all the groceries.
Crazy.
Raising 266 boys to do that to you.
Another headline on the way out here, hour 3, some Joe Lunardi bracketology. Oh, yes, it is that time.
We close, Savage.
Basketball's own groundhog, respectfully, comes out of his bunker to tell us 6 more weeks of college basketball. Joe Lunardi says he's got Tennessee and Vanderbilt, both as 5 seeds, which, by the way, great bounce-back win for Vanderbilt last night at Auburn.
They smacked
really, really
too.
good. Jalen Washington, career high, was terrific in that game. Every time Auburn tried to make a run, Vandy had an answer for him.
Guards are just so fast, man.
Tyler Tanner's electric, man.
They're quick.
So much fun to watch.
They will abuse you if you allow them, and that's what happened in the second half.
So Joe Lunardi has the Vols 5 seed going to Portland. That would be a region with UConn as their 1 seed. Their 4 seed would be Virginia. Of course, the 3 seed is Purdue, because we can't do anything in sports without seeing Purdue, those lazy bums, foul merchants. I bet they got another 7'6" guy that when you breathe on him goes to the free throw line.
They do.
And because I just insulted him, Zach Edey's at the line shooting too. Vanderbilt would be a 5 seed going to San Diego, as Lunardi has it right now, in the East region with Duke as their 1 seed. Texas Tech would be their 4. And I'll tell you what, both these teams could see the Belmont Bruins, because Joe Lunardi has Belmont as a 12 seed in Tampa facing St. John's, which would be a really, really fun matchup. They would put them in a quad in the Midwest region with UNC and Troy as their 4 and 13. Belmont is in the neighborhood of being an at-large consideration.
Let's go.
They're playing so well. A tough loss for them, heartbreaker in overtime the other night to Bradley on the road. It's a tough place to play, but they are playing so well in the Valley this year that not a guarantee that's only a one-bid league. So if you're a 12 seed at this point, then you got a shot. You work your way up to the 11 line. Coming out, we got some tickets to give away. AU Pro Basketball in Nashville. We got a couple tickets to that. So hang on with us, tell you how you can win. And we'll talk Rhett Bryan draft coming up after this.
Is Ramon Foster for Medical House Calls, a place that I personally need to be calling and setting up an appointment for myself, man. If you feel that sickness coming on or you just feel a little bit under the weather, Medical House Calls is a company that you need to have come by your house, man. Whether it's IV therapy, sickness, infections, it does not matter. They got you covered from one end to the next. It's simple to process as well. As I told you, the company is Medical House Calls. That is also the website, medicalhousecalls.com. They're available to you Monday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. They do have same-day appointments available to you or next-day guaranteed. But here's the thing. They want to bring back the focus of making you important. Your schedule, we know how crazy it is. We know how wild your kids' schedule, work schedules are as well. Well, they want to be able to set it up for you to hit them up and them come to you wherever you are, whenever you say the time between 7 and 8 p.m. It's that simple, man. And for a flat fee, listen to me, you can get an evaluation, full exam, treatment plans, and prescriptions as if you need them as well. Everything from sicknesses, infections, injuries, in-home labs, testing, and more, they got you covered. I've used them personally. They're awesome, very professional, and they communicate awesome as well. So to book with them, if you're feeling a little bit under the weather, just have to get some stuff checked out. They'll come directly to you. MedicalHouseCalls.com or call them or text them at 615-838-2375.
9:02. Good morning from the Circa Sports at the Mid Kentucky Down Studios. I am Robert Walsh. The Titans are hiring Wayne State linebackers and special teams coordinator Ahmad Saleh, who is the cousin of new Titans head coach Robert Saleh. Last season, he coached all conference performers at both linebacker and on special teams with Wayne State. In former Titans coaching news, the Giants are hiring former Titans head coach Brian Callahan for their quarterback coach job. Callahan served in the same role with the Lions and Raiders from 2016 to 2018 and had previously interviewed with the Giants for their open offensive coordinator job. He still lands in New York with John Harbaugh. And in college hoops, number 19 Vanderbilt takes down Auburn 84-76. Commodores were excellent from the free throw line, knocking down 26 of 30. And 21 Arkansas took down LSU, who's been putrid in SEC play, 91-62. Darius Acuff Jr. dominating, going 13 of 22 to finish with 28 points. For all your foundation repair and your waterproofing needs, you gotta go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Fourth and final hour of the show, getting started on this Wednesday morning. Fourth hour means fourth quarter.
Big rent.
On a show that plays its best ball in the fourth. Ramon Foster is here. Robert Walsh filling in for Justin.
It's like old
I'm
times.
Will Bowling, joined by Rep Bryan. It's right. It is like old times. And Robert Walsh, we have some tickets to give away this morning to begin our fourth hour.
We do have tickets. I love the way Slay reads this, and I'll never do it justice, but when he goes, Tahina Pow Pow, that alone makes me want to go to this Athletes Unlimited. But if you would like to, football ain't going on no more. You need some sport to fill your life. It's Winning Wednesday on 104.5 The Zone, and Athletes Unlimited Pro Basketball comes to Nashville's Municipal Auditorium for Season 5 through March 1st. We got 2 tickets if you are caller number 5 to go to Nashville Municipal Auditorium to see Tahina Pow Pow, Alicia Clark, Tina Charles, and many more. Give us a call, 615-737-1045.
Alicia Clark.
I like it. 615.
Girls out there balling every day, man.
737-1045.
At Municipal Auditorium.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Love it. Rhett, before we get to all of our topics this morning,
Topics.
comparing the 24 and 25 Titans, looking at some of the draft stuff, we were just talking about how Seattle public schools are not going to let kids out of school to go to the Super Bowl parade today, which is unfortunate for the youth of Seattle. What do you remember about the Love Ya Blue parade in Nashville in 1999 and what the Titans did when Titans were in the Super Bowl, obviously, and the way this city was for that parade back in the day in 2000?
Well, first of all, it was wild that they had a parade as the runner-up. I mean, but that just told you how much of a crescendo that Titans fandom had grown to in just a few short weeks and months.
No doubt.
Very cold that day, overcast, flurries. Because I remember Mac 9, Steve McNair, and his wife Michelle riding in a drop-top Corvette, and Neil Orn of Channel 2 at the time,
right?
Interviewing them as they went down through the route. And, there's flurries, but it was wild just to see how many people. I mean, listen, if you weren't alive or weren't here at that time, it was unbelievable. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, it was one of those times where there was not the 2-week space between the conference championship and the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. It was just the next week.
I didn't realize that wasn't a thing like that.
There was a window of time where they flirted with those kinds of things, but there was people selling Titan stuff on every corner. Now, I'm sure a lot of it was, let's say, Temu.
Mom and pops.
Before Temu was a thing.
Pops. Right.
But, it was wild. But, it was flurrying, cold, but people showed up and showed out.
Yes, they
definitely
should.
did.
I can't imagine. I had visions of how it would have went for us had we won it in 2011 against Green Bay. I was just thinking to myself, what do you do? How do you go about it? How can you get lost? Like, what does family go? What am I going to do with RJ? Like, it was so many things. Like, was Keisha and RJ be able to get up on the float? Like, I can't imagine being a part of a world championship. I could imagine. It just didn't happen. But, like, the idea of you being able to, like, ride that float and the entire city gets behind you. And it's, boy, I heard the stories of those dudes doing it, and it's something you want. Broadway would be, there's no words for it.
No, there's not.
It'd be amazing. Yeah.
There's really not. I mean, I'm always interested to see what the estimated populace is at the parade.
Yeah.
And I think I saw Leonard Williams on locker room cleanout day the other day.
Yeah.
Talking about he thought there'd be 1 million people downtown.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, in shades
But the
of
school
what?
part of it, that sucks.
Yeah, it really sucks.
I think my parents would have gotten me out of school to see something like that. I think they'd have said, you know what, because I had good attendance in school.
Yeah, right.
Did you?
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I had perfect attendance every day in high school except for the day I missed for my grandfather's funeral.
Wow.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't miss a lot of school.
See, I was raised that same way too.
There wasn't going to be any of that in my parents' household.
When
They're like, you're going, boy.
I was the same way. Like, you wake up, like, I'm not feeling well. Nah, you'll be all right.
You'll be all right.
You'll be good. You'll be just fine. Character building.
We didn't have much access to have fun at home as well. Like, whether the cable's on or not, you was probably going to watch some VHS tapes. Like, okay, by the time like 12 o'clock and like The Price is Right went off,
Yeah.
everybody was coming home at that point.
And you're right. 10 o'clock, Channel 5.
Yeah.
Bob Barker,
Yeah.
the Barker Beauties. That was an appointment television if you're out of school on a weekday.
Absolutely right.
I still watch it.
Yeah, I do too.
There's what is it
Wheel of
on
Fortune still gets played in my
Pluto
house, too.
on Pluto TV? They
Okay.
have a Bob Barker years just a stream on a channel.
That's awesome.
I need to find that.
And I always like going back and watching it because they don't tell you the episode number and the date it aired in the year.
Yeah.
So when they get to a new car, I'm like, all right, that's a 76 Chevy Vega.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so this is
That's
1976 or 1975 in this case. It'd be a 76 model.
Love
And
that.
then you can look at hairstyles and clothes and go, all right, that's early 80s and to see inflation and those things, how much stuff was. So
I know that's something to go back and look and see what a car was back then.
Yeah.
you'd be
$2,500.
surprised. Well, back in the early 70s, I mean, it was still, $5-6 grand. Now, if it was like a Lincoln Continental, that's on up there a little
Okay.
more. The luxury cars are a little up there a little more. but-
Land yacht. That's what's wild.
land
too,
yacht.
is Cadillac and Lincoln were luxury cars. And
Yes,
they
they
still
were.
are.
Oh, yeah.
But more people go with foreign luxury instead of
Before there was an influx of that, they were the original luxury car in
big
America.
time.
For sure.
Yeah.
Rhett Bryan in studio with us, talking some Titans. Going to dive into Dane Brugler's list of top 100 draft
100.
prospects and why I think there's some good news for the Titans in that top 100 list.
I think so.
Rhett, you have done some digging on differences statistically between the 2024 and 2025 Titans. I'm curious what stood out to you as you just surface level numbers comparison and what the box score says about year-over-year changes and improvements from 24 to 25.
First of all, shout out to Everett Geerlings and his fantastic staff for the Tennessee Titans and media relations, public relations, who put out these things, and they did that a few days ago for the 2025 season. One of the things, I mean, obviously, the numbers are things you're like, oh, gosh, it really was that difficult. But one of the things that you knew would be better, punt return average as a team in 2024, 7.4 yards per return, which had to be close to the bottom. Jeez. They don't even have a rank there. This year, 16.6, number 2 in the National Football League. So, from 7.4 to 16.6. First of all, that's about 3 different things. All actually under the same purview. It's John Bones Fossil.
Yep.
And the fundamentals and the teaching and the learning and the application of the return team and Chimere Dike in that order. That's a very good mark.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. But, you just look at the defense, 32 sacks in 2024, 42 sacks in 2025. Now, Big Jeff went off. He's a part of that equation. But you just look at the defense, how long they had to be out there. And, I mean, it's easy to see how 3 games won was how things went down. I mean, in the defense, point differential per game, 11.4 points per game. And then yardage differential, 85.5. That's a lot of first downs, man.
Yes, it is.
I mean, you just start peeling through the numbers. And then, they allowed 460 points in 2024, 478 in 2025. 261 total first downs in 2025. Actually went backwards in that category. Third down was actually a little better in 2024. But now, again, you could just look year over year and go, well, wait a minute, what was the story? And the story was you started how many rookies on offense? And, I mean, you had a very young football team.
A lot of on-the-job training.
Huge turnover. And potentially you're going to have the same thing again as far as how many free agents are expected, of your own and all those kinds of things. And then, you got 9 picks right now in the NFL draft for 2026. And so, the show goes on. But, there was a couple of things to glean from there, but you wanted to see, you just look at the offensive categories. They were at or near the bottom in just about everything. Yards per game, yards per play, rushing yards per game and play. Same for passing. I mean, they're, way on down there. 4.2 yards per rush. So, yeah. I mean, look, we said it a couple weeks ago, 16.7 points per game. Not going to cut it. I don't care who you are. It doesn't matter any one of the 32 cities. That's not going to get it done.
Oh.
And, emphasis on strengthening the run game, I think, is important because you need a better yards per carry average. So here we go. The roadmap's in front of us.
I like it.
For growth.
I like it. Rhett Bryant in studio with this executive producer of Titans Radio, diving into NFL draft prep and why on the top 100 list of prospects from Dane Brugler of The Athletic, there is some good news for the Titans after this. Ramona Will in hour number 4 on this Wednesday morning. Robert Walsh spinning the hits. Rhett Bryant in studio, Ramon Foster and Will Bowling. Who's going to see Athletes Unlimited? AU Pro Basketball.
AU.
It was my dude.
Sorry, I put you on the spot.
What the hell is this guy's name? Logan Winters.
Logan.
Winter is coming.
Shout out to
AU
Logan.
basketball.
Hello, Logan.
Proud of you, Logan.
I love
Way
it.
to be first.
If you want to see Athletes Limited, I can video myself doing a sport and put it on my Twitter account. That'll be Athletes Limited. This is Athletes Unlimited.
You be all right.
I played some really bad golf yesterday. Good. The
You were bragging, too. Well, you
first
didn't
day
brag.
of the first day of like the warm season. Nice day to be outside. I was foraging in the forest for golf balls. It was bad.
You pretty much ruined a great day yesterday, is what you tell me.
Oh no, a bad day on the golf course is better than a good day inside. So I'm just glad to be out in nature.
All right.
It was a good time. Trying to put less pressure on myself to be good at golf because I'm just never going to be. Rhett Bryant in studio
Fills
with
up the
us.
bucket, pours it out, fills it back up again.
Exactly right. Talking about NFL draft 2 weeks away, Rhett, from the NFL Combine. How about that?
I like it. I love it. I want some more of it.
Absolutely.
Someone once said.
Dane Brugler put out his top 100 draft prospects yesterday, and the good news for the Titans is there are positions of need for this team that are very deep positions in this NFL draft class. What stood out to you in looking at some of the strengths of this group as we look at top 100 lists and kind of start to hone in on what this class looks like?
Well, let me say this. Let me start with this. First of all, pay attention to Dane Brugler just because he, much like, well, in a smaller way, I did, bugging Mac about how the draft process works and been learning through the Coach Mac School of Ball every offseason. He did the same thing with the late C.O. Bricado, the man who was the longtime scout. And like he's a legend in those circles. The war room over at Ascension St. Thomas is named after him. And he said, I want to learn how to grind film. I want to learn how to, and so he learned from him. So when he puts out these things, it's like, you should probably pay attention because he's learned from someone
that knows it,
who absolutely knew it. Absolutely. And to your point, Will, it lines up really well with some of the Titans' needs. Out of that 100, 17 wide receivers.
Wow.
Now, that continues to lend to the fact of 7-on-7 ball and skill position players. There's a pipeline on every, but sometimes the better prospects are more prospects than other years. And, transfer portal, NIL, and all that probably has a lot to do with that nowadays. But 17 wide receivers, and then on defense, 14 edge pass rushers in the top 100.
Wow.
And I think 8 of them were in the top 50. And then 13 cornerbacks. So I was very pleased to see that. In fact, I broke it down positionally. On offense, you had 3 quarterbacks. So you had Fernando Mendoza, Indiana.
Yep.
He had Ty Simpson, Alabama, and then Garrett Nussmeier, LSU.
Oh, he's still a high prospect.
Had a good Senior Bowl.
Now,
Okay.
Several numbers on down the list. And I think that's probably how this is going to shake out and he did have a good Senior Bowl, you're right. Mm-hmm. Your top tier of quarterbacks is going to be Mendoza 1 in that order, then Ty Simpson, and then that next tier is going to have a Garrett Nussmeier and whoever else you want, and then you can start to trickle off from there. But 3 quarterbacks, 17 wide receivers, 4 running backs, 2 of them Notre Dame guys, 9 offensive tackles, and then 9 total interior offensive linemen, 7 guards, 2 centers, and then 5 tight ends. Defensively, 14 edge, 9 interior defensive linemen, which, by the way, it's a good draft for that.
Good.
I tell you what else is telling in this. He had 10 linebackers in this 100.
Wow.
It's a nice class for off-ball linebackers.
Okay.
13 corners, 7 safeties. So there are some interesting numbers amongst those 100. And, it's just who you like. And it's just like how these war rooms are going to be in the 32 different cities. Because if you look at some of the other top 50s, top 100s people to put out, I'm cross-checking those. I'm going, they had this one, they had this one, they had this one. So, some of it is who you like.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Interesting to me, Rhett, that Arvell Reese is the number one prospect in Dane Brugler's opinion.
He had him in his number one in his top 50 back in the summer.
Yeah,
pre-season.
He falls somewhere. This is a crazy sentence, but I think it's legit considering how rare Arvell Reese is of a talent. At 6'4", 240, at edge rusher and off-ball linebacker, kind of a hybrid of the two, says he falls somewhere between Micah Parsons and Jalen Walker in terms of his pro projection.
Which means if he balls out at the combine and his pro day, and a combination of those, because who knows, maybe he just does his pro day.
It's a wrap for him.
He's already, you feel like the Raiders will go Mendoza 1 at quarterback because they need one.
For sure.
But Arvell Reese's name looks like he's going to get called pretty early.
Wow. No doubt about it. Right. With that being said, the Titans need defensive line help, edge and interior. We had a long, in-depth conversation yesterday about Ruben Bain Jr. How much does it matter with the arms rate? Do you just go with what Jeffrey Simmons says? Can he play ball?
Well, let me take it a step further. Now that Robert Saleh is the head coach of the Titans, runs a 4-3 base defense. If they were still in 3-4, you might lean more towards David Bailey.
Okay.
But because you're running a base 4-3, and Will brought this up to us in conversation off air, of how much he rotated those guys on that line when he was the head coach of the Jets. You might lean more towards Ruben Bain. I don't think you can go wrong with either guy.
Right.
David Bailey, Texas Tech, Ruben Bain, Miami. But maybe it lends more towards that, knowing that you're going to sub in and out T'Vondre Sweat, Jeffrey Simmons, and the like. Listen, you're going to get people getting into arguments about David Bailey or Ruben Bain. They're two different players. They're two different styles, two different body makeups, but they both have white hot motors, and both put up good numbers. Ruben Bain, he made himself a lot of money in that national championship game. They didn't come out on the end of the victors, but he made a lot of money this year. Period. But he really did in that game where that was the game to watch at college to finish it up.
Yeah, it was fascinating watching him. I've kind of, the more we've done this draft prep stuff, read, and just look at the numbers and honestly hearing the storylines. I've learned, and I knew this, but I've learned it's not about how much guys get propped up. It's about how much you can tear them down. And you'd hate to miss out on a guy like Ruben Bain Jr. just based off the fact that, hey, people say he got shorter than normal arms. I'm thinking to myself, as far as this team is concerned, the Titans, that pick can go 5 different directions. I don't think anybody would bat an eye. You can go Ruben Bain Jr., you can go safety, you can go Caleb Downs if you want to, if he's still there. You can go offensive lineman if you choose to. If you move back, now we'll start talking about running back. Do you also go corner at that point? This team needs a playmaker, and I think that's a wide receiver.
Well, at corner, people don't realize, in my opinion, how early a guy like Mansour Delane from LSU is going to be taken. Because Caleb Downs is listed as a safety. He plays kind of a star thing, and
hybrid type,
which is what people need and want. The way offenses are played this day and age. Mansour Delane. No penalties in 2025, not a touchdown allowed.
That's crazy.
And that's against the top talent, man. You're playing some big boy football if you're playing at LSU.
That sounds like Darrell Revis
it
does.
Yeah. Delane Island, right?
Yeah.
You got options. You do. How everybody was talking about last year this time, they should trade back. I even thought about it. I'm they should, maybe they should trade back. Maybe they should try Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
Cam Ward ended up being the guy, and I think that's going to work out just fine.
Right.
I don't have a lot of doubts there on that one. But trading out a 4 a year later, probably going to be a little more difficult.
Harder, yeah.
Just because that the quarterback usually is the litmus test and what moves the needle. And knowing that if Fernando Mendoza is already off the board, somebody's going to have to be in big-time love with Ty Simpson and listen, Ty Simpson's going to get drafted higher than maybe he should because it is the quarterback.
Yep.
But Ty Simpson, again, 15 games he started in college. That's it. That's not a huge sample size, and doesn't trend towards huge success at the next level in the last 15, 20 years. But somebody will swing for the fences for him, and could it be at 4? I don't know. I mean, he could end up being a top 5 pick. We'll see. Got a lot of time. Got about 2 months here. But it's always that's going to move it. I don't necessarily think it would be for if by chance an Arvell Reese is sitting there. Sure, somebody could, if you're moving up for somebody at a huge position.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And you've got to be, if you're a Titans fan, like you're rooting for Ty Simpson to crush it in the combine process, but like he's going to have to knock it out of the park in order to be up at that level. And I promise you, and Rhett, you're dead on about it. Like there's going to be a mock draft between now and late April that's going to have Ty Simpson going in the top 10, I think, minimum. Like someone, like we were doing it with Malik Willis, and he was still a day 3 draft pick. Or late day 2, right? For the Titans. Like we did it with Will Levis. We've done it with a number of quarterbacks who we think like, well, maybe like Hendon Hooker was mocked to, I believe it was Minnesota at like 20 in the 2023 NFL draft at one point, and he had to wait a long time till his name is called. It's just the nature of the QB position. And
the difference here is I think actually Ty Simpson's going to get his name called in the top 10.
I do too.
I think that's where we're at.
Michael Penix Jr., another example.
Now, let me say this. I wouldn't say that no one's going to try to trade at 4 for Arvell Reese or whatever, because here's the thing. As we have just witnessed in the past 2 Super Bowls, edge rushers, interior defensive linemen have ruled the day.
Yes, they have.
Look, it's been the key to success. It was still true without Josh Allen in that game, without Mahomes, without Lamar Jackson. If you can rush 4 and the rest of your guys take care of business, that's the key to success.
Is it far-fetched that what the Titans need, though, right? Like, is anybody a reach? Because you mentioned Mansour Delane, and I'm thinking to myself, like, you need a bona fide corner. If you find a bona fide corner that can walk off the bus and be a day 1 starter and eventually turn into a Pro Bowl, All-Pro guy, it's not a reach. Like, those are the questions that you're going to have to ask yourself, depending on, let's say, Reuben Bain Jr. is gone or Arvell Reese is gone. Like, if there's a different trajectory in what you do for this team post-free agency, because that's the other part.
Correct.
The reach word needs to be removed with how this team needs to be built up, is the way I look at it.
Sure. No, you're exact. That is the most important part of this we have not introduced to this conversation that you just introduced, is that takes place first, and that's going to help set the table with a lot of stuff.
It really does.
And you're right. At 4, you're going to have an argument. And listen, Titans fans don't want to hear this, but you have your choice of the pick of the litter of the tackles in this. And is it Spencer Fano from Utah, who's a lighter guy?
Yeah.
Or is it Francis Maui-Noa, who showed up really well for the Hurricanes this year?
He's been the guy since he got out of high school. Francis Maui-Noa.
Yes.
Maui-Noa, yeah.
Right. But you're going to have, you're going to have all kind. I mean, think about it. Daniel Jeremiah's first mock had him 4 to the Titans.
Exactly. And I still think there's a world that we could live in where that's the case. And I think especially when you think about the way, and I know they didn't make it as far as they wanted to, but the way Chicago built Caleb Williams an offensive line and allowed, I think it was 44 less sacks this season versus last season, and the way that offense operated because of it, not just in the pass game, but that's the top running offense of the NFL this past season.
And you know what you can draw a direct line to with that is availability of your quarterback.
Absolutely.
44 less sacks, that's incredible.
And it was, Joe Tooney wins NFL Protector of the Year.
Yeah, and the first inaugural award,
as someone that has had to kick outside to tackle and plays inside a guard, like doubling down, especially considering what Cam's weaknesses were this past season at times of holding onto the ball just a beat too long. Give him a little bit more grace within that to say, hey, obviously we'd like for the ball to come out a little bit more quickly, but if you do hold on to it a bit longer and try to create the way Caleb Williams has a similar weakness, we're giving you the tools to be able to do that and live to tell the tale, both in the drive and also just from an injury perspective.
I'm going to flip back to the defensive line edge rusher stuff and how that has worked for teams who are strong in that in the NFL playoffs. I'm going to tell you one to keep your eye on. And Gator Mike, shout out, here comes your Gator.
Tweet coming in 3.
Right. Dane Brugler at number 24 has Caleb Banks, defensive tackle, Florida. Caleb only played in 2 games because he had an injury.
Yep.
That dude is a mountain at 6'6", 334. And he started banging hats in Mobile a couple of weeks ago. Just watch, because Caleb Banks, I don't care if he only played in 2 games. He was built in the factory.
He played in the Vols game, didn't he? Wasn't he active? I think he was active for that.
I believe that's the game that he returned for.
I remember him being a wrecker in that game as well. Yeah.
But, people are going to talk about Caden McDonald from Ohio State. And listen, but I'm telling you, you can't build that guy in a lab, man.
No.
I mean, that's 6'6", 334. Good grief. And here's another one, too. Jeremiah Love is number 3 on Brugler's list here, the running back from Notre Dame. Jeremiah Love's going to get drafted a lot higher than people think. In fact, there's people who have him better marks on him than Ashton Genty a year ago.
Wow.
Now, little bigger program, obviously, Notre Dame.
Yep.
But he and Jadarian Price are both in this top 100 of the 4 running backs that Brugler listed. But Jeremiah Love's going to get drafted pretty doggone high just because he's a 3-down back.
Yeah.
He can do it out of backfield. He can,
Yeah, right.
And go look at his film. Go look at his tape. Because the one thing Brugler says about that in his snapshot of this is look at his cuts in short space to make dudes miss.
If this team was better suited as far as like D-line being set up, as far as already having an edge, I like Jeremiah Love a lot. He makes sense as far as being the straw that can move it off, especially with a young quarterback as well. Like, it makes sense. Not that the Titans, yes.
R-P-O.
I'm telling you.
I wonder. I don't know. I'm probably not. I just wonder if. No. I don't mean for the Titans. I don't mean for the Titans. I wonder if because you think about teams, to your point, that have the trenches already built up. Like when Detroit drafted Jahmyr Gibbs when they did, they felt good about their offensive line, defensive line. Like
that's a prime example. I'm gonna give you another one a little closer to home.
Yeah.
Look at what Bijan Robinson has done for the Atlanta Falcons. And I really liked him coming out of Texas.
We got to do everything we can to make sure Kansas City does not get Jeremiah Love. Considering where Kansas City is picking.
That's so real.
And I was going to say, I don't think they'd trade up for a running back, but think about the possibility there of Patrick Mahomes with Jeremiah Love. I almost wonder, Rhett, if there's a chance he's such a rare talent, there's someone that wants to move up a couple spots for him. It would surprise me.
Yeah, you'd have to see what the scenario is as who was taken ahead of him and where we are in this scenario.
Sure, right.
It's going to be one of those things, though. He'll be drafted higher. I don't know that it'd necessarily be a trade up for that, but it'll be, gosh, he's the number 1 guy on our board left.
Exactly.
We can't pass this up, and guess what we could use? So that's just...
And that's what they need in Kansas City, too, for the last 5 years.
And look, here's the other thing is the way these receivers, your top-tier receivers is already fleshed out pretty good so far. And Carnell Tate, Ohio State, Jordan Tyson, Arizona State. The guy that I like is Mekhi Lemon.
I was about to bring up a stat on him.
He just catches the dang football.
Football Insights at @FBall_insights put this out. Good follow for draft stuff. Tweeted this a week and a half ago. It stuck with me. Mekhi Lemon owns a career 3.0 plus yards per route run against man and zone coverage. The only receivers drafted since 2021 to do that, listen to this list: Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Pretty good.
Jalen Waddle.
Pretty good.
Jamar Chase.
Pretty good.
Devontae Smith. Dwayne Eskridge. Eskridge is obviously the outlier there. But
right. And I think Dwayne had some injury issues, but
I know
those other four.
Do it, Will.
I know you probably can't take Mekhi Lemon at 4, but like, if you have a strong conviction that guy could be closer to your Jackson Smith and Jigba, go take him. Like that's what the Titans need at this point.
Your quarterback.
Take the guy that you have the strongest conviction about.
The agency has to play out as well.
It does.
That's right.
So you could set yourself up.
But you see, the conversation here is not knowing what that is. We've mentioned a half dozen different directions you could go.
Yeah, I know.
Because you're sitting at 4.
It's as wide open as I think the Titans' options have been with their first-round pick in a long time.
Really good player at 4 that could help you on either side of the football. Yeah.
Rhett Bryan, a very good player on our roster. Wednesdays at 9 o'clock here on the show.
Very kind to say that. Check in the mail.
Appreciate you. All right. There's Rhett Bryan wrapping up the show. Headlines we missed on the way out after this.
Tennessee was hit hard by severe weather last month from Winter Storm Fern. And if you ride around now, you still see some of the damage that was left behind, man. And as communities across Tennessee continue to rebuild from flooded homes and storm-damaged schools to infrastructure weakened by melting snow and ice, I'm here to tell you that USS is here to help you. Since 1994, United Structural Systems has helped thousands of families and businesses restore their homes after foundation damage. Often, that damage comes from the kinds of severe weather Tennessee sees year after year. USS doesn't just fix structures. They help restore stability, safety, and peace of mind, especially for people recovering from storms, flooding, and shifting grounds. The community involvement includes supporting local schools, neighborhoods, and organizations like Habitat for Humanity. It reflects that belief that rebuilding is about hope and rising again together. And once again, United Structural Systems is proud to support Habitat for Humanity. Their upcoming spring build in early March, it marks USS 10th Habitat build, a major milestone for their long-standing service to Middle Tennessee. Again, for a company that is local and around you and embedded in the ins and outs of what happened on a year-to-year basis, month-to-month basis, man, United Structural Systems is the company to trust. You can visit USSTN.com and gain a peace of mind with United Structural Systems, foundation repair, and waterproofing services. And make sure you tell them that Ramon sent you.
Wrapping up the show on Ramon and Will. Appreciate you stopping by. Thanks to Mike Golic Jr. and Rhett Bryan and to Robert Walsh for filling in this morning. Bert, glad to have you back
Big
for a
boss
day.
Bert, man, coming down to the regular ranks to deal with us common folks.
The pleasure is all mine, fellas. The pleasure is all mine.
I'm leaving full today because Bert decided to come in and kick it with us.
I love it.
Hawk, man, I hope your situation gets better today, dog.
Yeah.
Maybe he get a new whip out of it. Sometimes, you got to see the blessing. Y'all ever heard like the old Chinese proverb that the fella comes and they're kind of complaining about their days, and he said, "Oh, I heard your son got hurt." He said, "That's terrible." He said, "Maybe." Well, then the next day, the Chinese government came and they was trying to enlist people in the army, and they couldn't take his son. I said, "Well, that's good. They couldn't take your son." He said, "Maybe. You never know when it's going to be good. Like something work out in your favor." So that's what that's what I'm hoping for Hawk. Hopefully,
Me
he
too,
finds a
man.
vehicle that's worth it.
I had an extra one. I'll let you borrow it, dog.
Or let him know that.
Did I let you borrow my truck?
I ain't never. I rode in it a couple times. I took a nap in the passenger seat at a couple golf tournaments.
That was Josephat that drove my big truck, if I'm not mistaken. That's who that was.
Yeah. Yep. ESPN.com with another mock draft this morning. I want to talk more tomorrow, Ramon, about David Bailey. That's who Field Yates has going to the Titans with the 4th overall pick. We want to spend some more time during this draft season and just do deep dives into individual prospects and do some film breakdowns because you are qualified to do that, Ramon, considering you played 11 years in the NFL.
Bert send me random film stuff all the time.
I love it. Bert also qualified to look at film.
Nah, I'm qualified to look at it. I don't know if I'm qualified to comment on it. I'd be like, that guy looked strong there. He looked very strong on that
I'll
route.
tell you something about his feet and his hands. Like, oh, never mind. He ain't that strong. It was just luck.
Hey, I don't even know how to say this cat's name, but I'm about to send you some stuff for this. He's like the best guard in the draft from Penn State. Me and you watched the Besantis dude from Texas A&M. Now I need you to tell me about this cat from Penn State.
You know what I'm saying?
I like it.
I like it.
Yeah, Field Yates has David Bailey at 4. FBS leader in sacks at 14.5. Caleb Downs would be on the board in this scenario, with Fernando Mendoza going 1, Arvell Reese going 2, Francis Maui Noah going 3 to the Cardinals.
Is it Noah for real, or are you saying no?
No, it is.
So not Goa. Okay,
Correct.
I love that. I love
Francis
that y'all
Maui
made
Noah.
me a little smarter today.
Learn something new every day. David Bailey would go 4 to the Titans, and then Caleb Downs of Ohio State would be 5.
Who's picking 5?
Giants
They need a safety.
to John Harbaugh.
Are y'all bought all the way into this Arvell Reese stuff, man? I'm kind of conflicted, dude.
I feel like it's one of those jack of all trades, master of none situations. It's some of my same concerns on Travis Hunter, to be quite honest with
Who
you.
was the edge out of Clemson that Arizona took a few years ago? Was it Clavion Chase?
You talk about Isaiah Simmons?
Simmons.
Yes.
And just, again, positionless player.
We used to
That's
call
what
those
I'm-
dudes tweeners.
Yes.
We used to not know where to put those dudes. And now Micah Parsons makes everybody think that fits in that box. Like, oh, this dude's you about to play him wherever.
Nope.
I just don't see it. I was talking to Mike Herndon in the DMs the other day, and I said, I'd go so far as to say I think he's the 3rd best defender on his team.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, Sonny Styles is a dang good player, too, an inside
Really
linebacker.
good player, man.
Yeah.
And you know where he's going to play. You know what he's going to be doing.
You know the issue for Arvell Reese, even though I say teams are going to take him, he deserved to be taken high as well. But what happens with those guys is it's like, well, if he doesn't work here, he'll work here. And then they go to the first position and it doesn't hit. And then you change them instead of letting them develop into either an edge guy or just keep them off ball and put them at linebacker. Like they try to make it be exciting early. And usually that's not the case.
So, like, if you move J.C. Latham to guard, you'd be doing the same thing.
It's the exact
You're
same
stunting the
conversation.
growth of a really world-class athlete by having them learn new things off-season after off-season after off-season.
Very much so.
I will say, I know he's not Kyle Hamilton, but John Harbaugh going to get an elite safety at 5 and Caleb Downs just makes all the sense in the world as he goes to a place in a defense that doesn't have Kyle Hamilton now.
I don't know.
Y'all going to have to forgive me.
What's that?
I can't find y'all. I don't know where y'all outro is.
Oh,
You can just turn us off.
I figured I
you could do it. You could sing it.
Oh, hang on. Bum, 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 bum. Hang on. We'll do this right.
Fading out.
And wrapping up today.
We're back at it tomorrow morning, bright and early, 6 a.m. We'll talk some draft with Coach Matt. Continue the draft discussion. Vols and Mississippi State tonight in hoops. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Go 104.5.
And remember,
I do not stay at the
your Twitter fingers and your mic is always out, baby.